Hey, welcome back, Rare Talks. Already know where it is. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't, make sure you go to the Spotify and check out the exclusive episodes we have on the Spotify. You know, every week I tell you lot to go Spotify, and I know you don't. You lot need to still go to the Spotify and check out the exclusive episodes, because I got like 4 hour, 3 hour, 2 hour sessions on there that I'm just talking, and like they're about topics that I probably wouldn't do it if the camera was on my face. So go and check that out. I'm joined by a special guest. Introduce yourself.
Figs Podcast. Hi.
Marsha, and also another special guest.
ZOUBIDAS.
Yes. So today, we're going to be talking about, should you teach kids sex education? Should they be taught sex education in schools? Now, of recent, I've seen that there's been a high demand. Kids are on half term at the moment, and I've seen that a lot of kids, the internet has made it more accessible for kids to be in the sites of sex education. So sex has become something that has become more prevalent in the younger generation than it was in the older generation, because it's more accessible now. So from what I've seen recently is that they've wanted, and I think they've started it, they've rolled out in a few schools, that they're teaching children from the age of 6 up to 9 about sex education. What's everybody's thoughts on that?
I think it's great.
You think it's great?
I think it's a brilliant thing.
Why?
Because I think that sex is part of life, and I think that the earlier children are educated with regard to it, it's like everything. You know, you give children the television early, you give them sweets early. By the time they get to a certain age, they're not interested in it. They already know all about it.
So you think that teaching children at a younger age is a good thing, because then they learn about themselves and about what's going on around them?
Yeah, because it's part of life. They learn what is going on in life. They learn that actually babies are not born from an oven. You don't get a baby from an oven. Baby's not born, because mummy and daddy had a cuddle. That's not real.
But do you think that, I generally think that a child should be a child, because I wasn't even thinking about sex at like 6, 7. I was just playing with my little Batman toys.
Yeah, I know. A child should be a child. Nothing's ever going to stop you from being a child. But when you go to school and you're at school, you're there to learn, and learning about life, which is a product of sex. What's wrong with that?
Because I feel like if you, all right, say for instance, you have a daughter, yeah, and she's going to school and she's learning about sex. And then like another kid's like, yeah, why don't we just, try something in the toilets at 7, 8 years old?
Do you know what, to be honest, I will really be honest, I know people that were born with me in the 70s were doing that kind of thing anyway without that sex education.
What do you mean? People in the 70s is doing what?
Just, like literally talking about sex, going to talk about...
What, at 7, 8?
Yeah, playing kiss chase.
Now, kiss chase, everyone done that.
Yeah, but everybody done this. Everybody knew what that meant from an early age.
Why did kids used to do that though? What was it? They don't do that anymore though.
Oh, yes, they do.
No, they
don't.
don't.
Yeah, I do it.
Kids don't. That's an old school. That's a
vagina. Exactly, old school. It's sex, no? But it's silly sex. Why don't you teach them seriously what that actually is, what that produces? I remember coming into the front room, my children were talking about sex. I had to pull them up. They was laughing and joking. I said, hey, why are you not laughing about this? This is how you lot were born. They're like, stop it, mum. That's disgusting. How's it disgusting? Like, that's where you don't want your children to think it is. Disgusting.
Yeah, for real. At a certain age, I do want them to think it's disgusting, because I want them to be like more focused on like doing other things, not talking about sex.
But they will always think it's disgusting. Look, if you go to any school, you'll find all primary schools, boys and girls do not talk.
Yes, they do.
They do not. Boys hate girls.
No, they do.
Boys are stupid and girls are rubbish. Boys smell and girls. Any primary school.
No, but then you've got a point, because but my daughter would say, "Oh,
what
my
about
friend."
Doctors and nurses, what do you think happens there?
No, that a lot of baby make. Boy, I don't know.
That's got nothing to do with sex education. That's literally the Wendy house. Yeah. You always got some boy drawing the girls in, or there's always some girl drawing the boys in. There's always a leader with that Wendy house. Who can come in, who can't, and what happens in that Wendy house, nobody will ever know.
What happens in the Wendy house?
But what, doctors and nurses, mums and daddies? Did you never play doctors and nurses?
Yeah, but I don't think it never went that far though.
Well, obviously it didn't go that far, but It was apparent. It was happening. It
No,
was
but
real.
no, I feel like sometimes
That
the
was sexual. That was sexualized.
you think so?
What, mummy and daddies?
No, that wasn't sexualized.
Oh, come on.
When you played Mummy and Daddies, was it sexualized?
Mummies and daddies. I don't know what you guys mean.
There you go.
Mummies and Daddies is basically a game, yeah, when like kids like they have another kid and like,
Okay,
oh, your
we
baby.
used to pretend to get married, like in my culture.
See?
But that's marriage, though. That's
Yeah, but it's still...
like me and my cousins used to pretend to like get married.
What?
But you know, this is an Arab thing, like in the Arab culture.
What? That's even more weird.
No, it's not, because
Exactly.
it's a marriage
See?
thing.
No, but-
It's in like, you know, we're not talking about sex, talking about let's get married.
Yeah,
And we-
but you know
I'm
what
sa-
happens after marriage?
well, that's the part that we obviously didn't finish off at. We done the marriage thing, but the extra part was like, you know.
Did you know about it, though?
No, so my thoughts on this is this, right? I think definitely children or young adults should be taught about safe sex in terms of like the biological aspect of how babies are created, in terms of the sperm entering the womb and then through there the fetus grows. This is all educational stuff. But I think what Rare Talks is highlighting, this is like the modern way of them educating children on sex. So you do have a curriculum called self-stimulation classes, which is essentially about how children should safely masturbate. I think that's overstepping the bounds. And we actually highlighted this. There's actually a pamphlet that the government is a part of a new curriculum, right? Where they tell children that you should be aware of your bodies, which is, again, I agree with that. But they go as far as saying that touching yourself is normal, but you should only do it in the comfort of the shower or in the comfort of privacy. Now, I don't think that is appropriate for young children. And these children are young as 6 years old. So I feel like the modern curriculum when it comes to sex education is very inappropriate. It's overly promiscuous, and it doesn't teach sex in a safe manner. For instance, I remember, because I'm a lot younger than you guys, when I was in high school, they taught us about sex, but what they did tell us is that we understand that you guys at the age of 13, 14, 15 are having sex. But what we want you guys to do is put condoms and have safe sex. Now, I don't even agree with that message, because if you're acknowledging that 13, 14-year-olds are having sex and your solution is, well, here's a condom, I don't think that's a positive thing, because...
With that being said, what I realised with that kind of sex education was it made us promiscuous, and it made us not value sex, because I got a little older to realise that sex comes with love, and I know no one teaches you that. Like, the girl that I was actually with, that I broke my virginity with, I actually loved her. Well, I thought I loved her. Now I'm older, I'm like, was that really love? But it was my childhood love, whatever. But they never taught me that. They never said that. They just said, oh, this is how you do sex. Okay, no problem. But what comes with that? Does it make sense? Because it comes with heart, feelings. Might even want to hurt someone in the process of protecting your investment or this girl because you love her. So I'm in school. This guy says, oh, I like her, and I'm wanting to beat him up. So now, like, I never knew this is what happens. This is what comes with all of this.
They've minimized sex to a physical action, and it's much more than that, right? And this is why at one point in this country, there was actually a huge increase and almost like an epidemic of teenage pregnancies. At one point, like, teenage pregnancy was wild in this country. I think it was like in the 2000s, right? Young girls just having sex without condoms, getting pregnant. And this has long-term outcomes in terms of affecting society. They don't teach sex in a way that sex is something that's sacred. Especially as a woman, you should be valued, so you don't give it out to anybody. And sex should really be had in the terms of marriage. That's really, because then you know that there's a commitment here. But instead, it's like, well, we know that you're having sex, right? But
Or at
just
least reproduction.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
And there's some form of constructive thing behind it.
Right.
But most people are having sex for pleasure. I agree. So I just want to touch on this. When I was a kid, there was a book called The Joy of Sex. It's all in the name. So I was brought up in the era where they just started putting porn magazines on the top shelf, because the people were complaining to the government. They were on the bottom shelves, and all the kids can see them. So those are the ages that I was growing in.
And you know, it's funny because I only realised that as I got a little older. So someone pointed it out to me when I was a little bit older. So every time I'm going to the shop, at one time in my life, I'd go like this.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. I didn't know.
Well, before, the law wasn't up there. It was just normal.
That was a good thing they done. That was a good
thing. With
thing.
all the My Weekly and the TV Times, all the rest of it, the porn magazines were there as well. So what I'm trying to say is, no matter what, they've always tried to protect children from sex. I think that what's happening now in this day and age, internet, my son learned about sex on the internet. I caught him watching porn, and I had to explain to him, this is not the way that you have sex, son, because you'll go jail. Do you know what I mean? With people's children, because it's not
facts.
Right. It's not a great representation of what we call how to make love. But this book, The Joy of Sex, was. It was the most. It's still out now. It's probably one of the
What
best.
age did you read it at?
We was at. I'll be honest with you. I was at secondary school.
See,
But in this day and age, the way the world is going so fast, obviously they got to bring the age down.
yeah.
I hear that.
Now you know what? To a certain extent, there is some truth to what you're saying because it's so easily accessible to a child. Like,
They might as well teach you about it instead of you learning about it like that. Even masturbation. I'm so desensitized. I actually get that. My mind's so open. I get why you would tell a child how to safely masturbate, because they're going to learn anyway. What if they do it wrong? You're going to have more children in the hospital with things stuck here, things stuck there. Do you know what I mean?
But then,
more strain
but
than
then,
the NHS.
but then, what you do is you open a door up for children that I believe that I've always had this saying, be careful of what doors you open because some of them never close.
I'm sorry, but they're doing it anyway.
I know, but I'm saying I generally think when it comes to that sex education, I think that what they should be educating, instead of educating the child, they should be educating the parent of how to educate their children. Because I feel like some people culturally, and I only can speak for myself, culturally as a Jamaican child, actually born from Jamaican parents, my parents never actually explained sex to me.
Ever.
No, never.
My grandparents
And
never
the funny
did.
thing is, I didn't understand why they never, because we're a very open community. We speak about things very open.
This is what must be the general consensus out there on the educational side, on the educational sector. They must know. Obviously, these parents are not teaching their children anything. We've got to do it. Our responsibility.
But then I think, wouldn't it be more better for them to educate the parents, and then the parents now, it's like part of the curriculum that you have to go home, or your parent could be fined if they don't tell you things that we're going to ask you and quiz you on tomorrow. Because then my child coming to school and getting quizzed, I wouldn't feel afraid because I've already kind of told you certain things. Does it make sense? It's more of a...
I hear you, but some children don't have parents. Some children don't have that guidance. Some people don't have the time to... Who's going to rely on a parent to come to a class, a workshop, watch it, do this, do that?
But that's the problem with the society, that the parents don't have enough power over their children anymore, and they become reliant on the state. So the power balance is not good. So we have to shift that power balance where parents can have a level of power and authority over their own children, which I think they're starting to lose, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but in between 9 and 3, what do you expect? In between 9 and 3, you've got the government babysitter, the free babysitter. Who's looking about? Oh, who cares? Who cares? See, go to school, don't be late. Don't go to after school club. Do you know what I mean? The more you can be at school for the parent that is working, the better.
Yeah, but that's how the society is constructed.
Why are they talking? Why you got all these parents sending their children to school? Oh, I don't want my children to be taught this. Stop sending your child to school.
Right.
Stop sending your
child. Spend more time with them, educating them, because it's very important. I mean, I gave this example before, right? One thing where I'd feel very uncomfortable, especially with the self-stimulation class. Let's say you had a daughter, age just 6, right? Your 6-year-old daughter, this is just me personally, and it was a male teacher. Male teacher is saying, hey, little girl, you can touch yourself in the bathroom. Personally, that I will feel very uncomfortable with that. As a male talking to my young girl like that.
Yeah, you see. So for me now, what I found is there's a lot of primary schools, there's a lot of female teachers. There's hardly any males at primary school teachers. I don't know if you've clocked that.
I get that, yeah.
The proportion of males tiny. And if they are male, they're mixed race, gay. Do you know what I mean? It's just...
I was about to say that, they're changing it now. There are more males coming in. There are more males, but they're more gay, like you say.
Because of this reason of, you go for an interview, you're a male, and you sit down there with the head teacher and he says, actually, how are you going to feel about sex education? How are you going to feel about telling a 6-year-old about to masturbate? But I'll go to get another job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
It's something that is...
Let's flip that pillow.
When it comes to being on trend, it's not usually a man that's going to teach. Like, usually a man is not going to be a nurse when you go to the doctor to have your cervical test. It's not usually going to be a man.
Facts.
The nurse is usually going to be a woman. And I don't know, how are we working? Are we working away from that? Are we working more towards that?
Just a point onto what you said. Yeah, there was a man that wrote a book called The Conspiracy of How to Destroy Black Boys. Yeah, and one of the ways he said that black boys are being destroyed in general is that there's so many female teachers that boys are not getting raised by men, so they don't know what manhood is. So it's like if I'm at home with a single mother, then I go to school to get taught by a teacher, women teachers, and I'm being bossed around by women all day, then I grow feminine tendencies. I grow feminine tendencies because a man, the way he's gonna deal with me is gonna bring out masculinity and increase my testosterone. As for a woman, it's gonna bring a whole nother thing. So I'll pick up characteristics from there, might not be masculine enough. And then when I go into the real world and I meet men that have been raised by men, I'm gonna look at them like they're weird or they're too aggressive or they're too this or they're too that. And that's what's happening nowadays in society. And that's where we get terminologies like toxic masculinity from. Toxic masculinity was created by two white men. Two white men sat down and said masculinity can be toxic. Two old white men as that, and they've sat down. I can't remember their names, but I'll probably put it on the screen now. But these two guys said, yeah, masculinity can be toxic, meaning that a boy being exuberating masculine tendencies is toxic. But it's not. It's just a boy being a boy. Yeah, and anyone who has a son knows that boys will play with toys rougher, will run, will jump on the floor, will kick, will punch. But it's not out of like we're hurting someone. It's just our mannerisms.
Yeah,
my mum used to come downstairs and see my brothers playing. We used to play WWF, like literally rock, chokehold, fighting, punching for hours. And my mum like, "Why are you always fighting in my house?" But it was just us as brothers. That was just our masculinity. We just did it normally, and my friends would come around, and the same thing. My mum would always go mad. Don't break my bed. You better know what you're doing. Your friends are not coming around today because all you do is fight in my house. But we was just boys being boys. So the point of what I'm trying to say, I'm not saying masculinity is all tied to fighting, but I'm saying that in general, if there's more female teachers raising these boys and teaching them about sexuality, then they become numb to know, so what do I do now? Because it's just women telling me everything, and then that makes them more feminine. So I see the aspect that more female teachers in schools is actually a detrimental thing. It's not actually a good thing. Boys should be sent to boy camps where it's just they're getting trained to be soldiers. That's what I think personally. So they can come out being strong, because we're in a generation now where boys are so emotional that I hear people all the time on the internet saying men should be allowed to cry. Yeah, you can cry, brother, but not in the open.
Yeah, this is what I was saying to you the other day, though. I said it. Like, you were telling me about men that were abused, there's no services for them, this and that.
You laughed. That was what you were.
Of course I laughed, because at the end of the day, you think I was out of order me laughing?
100%.
Sorry. Because at the end of the day, this, like you said, this society that we're being brought up in, I don't even think it's that. I just think women need to be tougher.
But women are already tough.
No, they're not.
100%.
They're not. You got, like we just discussed, you got women under domestic violence with their children. How's that being tough?
No, but there's some crazy kids out there.
Yeah, but all right, there's some crazy kids, but you carried that child for 9 months. You brought into this world. How crazy are they going to be?
Yeah.
No, seriously, come on.
I think there's a lot of weaker women now. They give up quickly.
Women out there are weak. That's why. What's going on? Even the teachers I'm talking, they're weak as well. Come on, Johnny.
Do you know how many women teachers have made cry?
I know it's just a bit of blood, but let me... shut up. Listen, get up. Yeah? Right. Get a bit of tissue. Go and play with your friends, because you know Johnny's all right. Johnny, they were petting up Johnny. Calls Johnny's got tendencies
even that in itself, like, so for instance, I'll give you an example. Yeah, there's a boy, he's got a mother and father. Now he's with his dad, he's running, he trips over, he hits his knee. Me as a man, get up, let's go. Like straight, his knee's bleeding.
I'm
you know?
The same. I'm bleeding. A woman and I am the same.
Get up, come, let's go. And the mother, like, oh my God, come here, give me a hug.
That's the problem.
I'm like, bro, you're making him weak, because
that's the problem.
Because you could have affirmed it, but because you made it more,
it's all up here now.
Yes, it is.
And then now it's learned behaviour.
Yes.
Like when you get a cut now, you must get a cuddle, you must cry, you must get a plaster, you must be quiet. I've got girl children. Mummy can have a plaster for what? I've got a little cut on my finger, so. Like, that's how I stay, because I understand the real world. Eventually, when you grow up to be an adult, you're going to be soft. You don't need to be.
But you know what they say, yeah, psychologically, it's actually really good when children get ill a lot, because it builds up their immune system. And it's also really good when kids have these falls and have these trips, because it builds up strength within them. And I feel like Western way of parenting, this is why, like, talking about like social services, right, where a lot of ethnic minorities fall really short in these services, because of course whether you're African, Middle Eastern, Asian, everybody's got their own way of parenting, right? As long as it's not abusive and oppressive, people got their own way of parenting. And I feel like a lot of ethnic minorities fall short because they're not parenting in accordance to the Western standard. And the Western standard is very, very, very soft. Like you say, give me a cuddle, give me a kiss. It's constant like coddling that child and not allowing that child to build up that stamina, to build up that independence. And I find it very, very cringe. Even sometimes when I remember back in nursery reception and the way that they would make us constantly sing songs, right? We're singing our days away. For what? With all due respect, you know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, their way of parenting, I feel like is done strategically, and the one that is affected the most is the males, as we've clearly highlighted, because, you know, they actually done a study in America where they highlighted that the testosterones in men has started to lower in the past 10 years. Now, the reason I believe that is especially if you look at the workforce, right? Back in the day, men used to do manual labor. They would get up, they'll do that construction work. They're sweating out in the sun, they're lifting heavy stuff. Now,
type in.
McDonald's, type in. There's you can't build testosterone like that. And also, he's doing the same job as a woman. So imagine you as a man, you got a woman next to you, and you're equal. You've now been lured to the same level as her. Now, it's not to say that women and men are equal in certain things, but the point is, he can't showcase himself as a man whilst the woman's doing exactly the same thing as him.
Exactly, and if he ever tries to get on it anyway, he's definitely going to be deemed as aggressive.
Right.
And try and know if he's black, he's going to jail more than likely, definitely losing his job. Do you know what I mean?
Men need to do more sports, more physical activity, but more time now. They're playing Xbox all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They're not doing the running around, the sports that they used to back in the day. They're not doing the construction manual labor, like
Absolutely.
I said, plastering, bricklaying. Now they're too busy trading. Or I'm not knocking the hustle,
No.
but what people need to recognize is, as a man, you need to move. You need to get that testosterone building.
You need to be physically active.
Right. Because I'll say one last thing about this, and I've learned this. Talk about toxic masculinity as if it's dangerous. And toxic masculinity, what they really define is a man that's got testosterone. But you know what's more dangerous than a man that's got testosterone? A weak man. Because it's weak men that murder women. It's weak men that go around shooting up the place.
Yeah.
It's weak men that start doing the most.
Yeah.
So that's what you're trying to create, weak men. But they're the ones who are going to be menaces to society.
Absolutely. And it's also as well with regard to sport. You know what I mean? There's no push in this country with regard to sport. That's why we're always so behind with things like that. Oh, it's fine as long as he took part. Whereas I'm the kind of, you better go to school, you better win, you know.
You better win, yeah, right.
You better win. Where. I'm always motivating my children to be first. But that seems now I'm pushy parent. I don't mind being a pushy parent. I'm happy to be a pushy parent because I understand being a pushy parent will help my child to be a lot more successful than the parents that are not pushy. And I definitely agree with you with the westernized world, and I definitely agree with that. You will see that anybody outside of the westernized world is raising their children. You will see certain things on the street and you'll see people looking, going, oh my God, just see the way he's talking to her. And really all they're being is authoritative to their child, like they should be, and explain to their child, stop messing about on the bus, blah, blah, blah. I heard a woman the other day, everybody was looking at her, she was saying to the child, right, I've told you 17 times, and it was a ethnic person, and they were firm, but it sounded bad to everybody else. But I got it, and I was down with her. I was like, go on, girl, nice one. You tell that child, because children are not stupid either. They always think that they're going to get away with it in public.
100%. And I feel like the way that you raise your children at home will translate into public. I knew not to ramp on my mum. I'll never forget one day, and this is why I like everything that happened to me as a child, I was in Brixton. I got missing. I went missing, My mum, you don't go missing ever, I went missing and my mum found me. And I was like, yay! Wham! Brixton Market. I don't know what year this was, but the slap that I got that day, the slap that I got that
God
day.
went to hug her.
That slap, was so loud. I still feel it in the side of my cheek to this day. But let me tell you something. I never went missing again.
Yeah.
See, whenever my mum, I put my hand right on hers and look up and I'm holding it for life. Yeah, if I see her turn left or turn right, I'm know every direction. There's not no, I'm looking at the toys over here and my mum's walked out the shop and she's halfway down the road. So I learned a valuable lesson. And I'm not to say that beating you is good. I'm not saying beating your children is all right. I feel like
to be alarmed.
But that to me was a wake up call. And I feel like every child once in their life needs a wake up call. In some capacity, they need a wake up call. Whether it's like affirmative action, I'm taking your computer away. Some parents don't give their kids no discipline. It's like the kid can just do whatever they like, as much as they like, and there's no repercussions. And that is actually a bad thing, and it's detrimental to the society that we live in. But back to this topic quickly.
I was just about to say as well, sorry, back to your topic, exactly what you just said. So some children have no discipline, have no boundaries and all the rest of it. So then, depending on how you bring up your child, they're going to school and they're being educated on sex and they're blatantly telling the teacher, you can't teach me that, you can't tell me. That's another aspect of this lack of discipline, blah, 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 because they're going to school, they've heard somewhere this ain't right, and the teacher can't even do their job.
Now, that's a good thing, but then I believe that kids getting taught too early, this is what I believe that it does. It humanizes pedophilia. And what do I mean by that? A grown person telling a child how to do sexual actions. If I came into your house and I start speaking about sex, you'd look at me like a weirdo.
Let me tell you something.
So why is it normalized for a teacher to feel like he can do that? So wouldn't that make sense that if the teacher was touching my child in a certain way, it would be like it was normal?
They're doing something worse. So right now, there's a documentary on Channel 4 that's just been released right now, and it is caused shockwaves. And basically, they've gone as far as getting grown adults to children in the age of 6, stripping down naked so that the child can physically observe the body. And they're saying this is sex education. Now, I find it strange why grown adults are keen to get naked and show everything in front of children so comfortably.
That's called paedophilia, isn't
right.
it?
Yeah,
this is happening right now.
So right, we can look at it in so many ways. We can look at it in a very terrible way that you looked at it.
If your partner came home, wait, all right, let me just put this out there. All right, you got a partner, yeah? You came into your house and saw your partner naked in front of your kids. What are you doing?
I'm addressing it. I'm addressing it.
Addressing it?
No, I'm dressing
Marsh,
it.
you're not, Marsh,
Yeah?
you're not addressing it.
Yeah, no.
It is fire and brimstone
No,
at that moment.
Hold on a minute.
You're not even thinking straight. You're thinking, where's the weapon that I can lick my man in his head with? Don't do none of that.
Yeah, but I know, but I can't imagine stuff like that. That's what I mean. Let's just have it like that. I can't imagine that.
But if
I cannot imagine walking through the door, opening the door, and my partner is standing there naked. My children there. What is that? What are you talking about?
That's wild. This is what I'm trying to say. But what's the difference between that?
I'm going to explain the difference to you in my eyes. So we live in this really open world, and there are people that need to do all sorts of things. So I can imagine a guy, maybe a teaching assistant, somebody that's been called in, saying to his friends, bloody, I've got to go to school tomorrow. Oh, that's all right. What? No, I've got to go naked in front of the kids.
What?
So, yeah, exactly. I mean, how does he feel even being asked to do something like that? What do you do? Not agree and lose your job?
Don't do it.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Not agree and lose your job.
But I have
Yeah, but
to.
you can say that. Will Smith just said that when he done that Batty Man role when he first became an actor and he had to be gay. Why didn't he say, I'm not doing it? They've all had to do stuff. You all have to do stuff.
But Will Smith, there is some controversy around his name.
Will Smith ain't got no backbone. He can't even control his wife.
He's a very rich actor. That's my point. He's very successful.
But it comes down to morals. It comes down to your principles.
And most people will have their morals restricted to their industry. So if you are a supply teacher and the curriculum is sex education, and one of the things that you have to do is get bollock naked, whether you're a volunteer, whether you get paid or not, that's what you've got to do.
But then, listen, a supply teacher is actually the worst kind of one, because a supply teacher is not a teacher that you see every day. So a random stranger comes in.
So much grief.
I used to terrorize them, but like... A random strangers come into the school and strip naked for my child.
I don't know what to say about that. People do live art. Do you know what I mean?
No, but that's art, and that's in a gallery.
Yeah, but this is artistic. Your body is artistic.
No, but the thing is, like,
it just is.
Marsh, you say that society is open, and I would say there are aspects of society that are open, because sometimes what we see on the mainstream media is not reflective of society. So as much as mainstream media loves to push liberalism and everyone's living their best life, on the ground it's a different thing.
Agreed.
And as we know that Britain is a very multicultural society with people of many different walks of life who have their own principles. So just because that may work for you, do not try to... I think the main problem is that there's a lot of superimposing. And what they try to do is they try to make it out that this is the moral standard.
The problem that I've got with this superimposing is, and I'm going to say it, and I'm just going to go back to where you fucking came from if you don't fucking like it.
Yeah, well, it's not as simple as that.
It bloody is.
Go back to where you came from.
No, seriously though.
But is that would you say that's a racist kind of
No,
statement?
it's real, because we're living in
okay, but what about
no.
But maybe I'm from here.
White people are weird.
No. There are English people who disagree with this. English born bred people disagree with this.
Yeah, because English born bred people have been brought up by people. They're like us, right? I'm English born.
It's not about
white people.
It's not about white vs non-white. It's about traditionalism and liberalism.
Traditionalism is when you come to England, you do as we fucking say. That's what you do.
No, because Britain was once a traditional country.
Yeah, exactly, and you do everything that we say in it. So when you wogs come here, you have to do what we say, do what you say. Forget about the Arabs, forget about the Indians, as they call them. England is a racist country, and it is what it is, and whatever they've always says always goes. And if you do not like it, you can just piss off, because that's how it is. They're not going to change it.
No. Again, it's not about race. The thing is, what we have is a new system that is trying.
It's not about race, but because we live here. And the system. But
we have a right to talk. Like, if I live here, I'm a British citizen. I pay taxes. I have the absolute right to speak out if I think there are certain laws or there are certain.
Speak out as much as you like, baby. But what the answer do about it?
Right, but that's the thing. It's not. It's a collective effort. It's not just me. There are English people. There are multiple communities. I think any decent human being would be concerned, no matter where you're from, even whether you're would be concerned that grown adults stripping naked in front of children. It shouldn't even be a debate. But what we have is people normalizing this in the name of liberalism, trying to superimpose this, because this is not the consensus. None of us voted for this. None of us all sat down as parents and said, you know what, we think that this is the next step for educating children.
But what you did do, though, you left the law, you left it into the hands of the education. You said that you agree as law to send your child to school from the ages of 3 to
get
18.
An education, not to do this.
No, but that's their education. You don't get to say
Well, this is why people are protesting.
Yeah, okay, and I understand the protest. However, it's going to have to, you're going to, basically, unless there's safeguarding issues, which you feel there could be.
Absolutely. Adult naked in front of a kid.
Okay, yeah, safeguarding issues, anything to do with any form of danger, health and safety, blah, blah, blah. There's the only way it's getting through. Because unless it is health and safety, safeguarding, they're going with it. Because I don't understand where everybody's mind's going. We deal with progression. Life moves forward. So we start with open. We start with a little bit of open. Before you know it, foot open wide, Bridget.
Everything's open now.
River can go through. Yeah, but what did we expect? It's only going to get worse.
But do you believe that by teaching children sex education, it removes something called abstinence, and abstinence is actually a good thing in society, because there's going to be times in your life where you have to be abstinent. And I feel like if you teach kids sex education from a young age, a boy in particular, he might think that I'm entitled to something. You know what I'm saying? So he might go through life thinking, I want to have sex because I was taught about it. I want to do it now. I want to do this. And that might even create monsters in the future.
I don't think anything's changed. I think that when I see a 2-year-old with a phone, I think it's worse. Sorry, I think it's worse. I think when I see a 2-year-old in a buggy with a device, that carries radiation, etc., that is sending messages, subliminal messages, chatting shit. All these high-pitched voices, all these characters that look weird, nothing to do with love. I think that is 10 times worse than a life person standing in front of my child with their human naked body, how we were born. I think that's 10 times worse. That's my view.
So would you, if this show invited your children, would you send them on?
To what?
To see naked?
I would, but they would be so embarrassed, because like I said, like you were saying, I think nothing's changed with regard to that. I don't think children have got more sensitive to the naked body or less sensitive to the naked body. I think children are just as embarrassed about the naked body. I can't even come out of the shower if my towel falls down, my children, they're going mad.
Yeah, I did the same with my mum.
Right.
But that's your parent, that's your mum.
No, it doesn't matter who it is. What it shows me is whatever the school's teaching you, they ain't teaching you it that good.
Yeah, so that even on that level, but I feel like there's always going to be a level of shyness around your parents, because even like my mum's got 6 boys, only boys, yeah. But we're not, I wouldn't say we talk about women in a provocative way around my mother. And that's just out of respect. Like, we don't do that. So me and my brother be talking, but I know my mum doesn't know what we're talking about. But we wouldn't, like, if we knew that she could understand, we would not mention things that would be provocative in front of my mum. Like, yeah, man, had that girl.
It doesn't make any difference. It just means that you're not mentioning it in front of your mum. It doesn't mean you're not talking about it. So for me, with regard to my children and the fact that they're still embarrassed about the naked body is a good thing, because it is that abstinency that you're talking about. And also it means that this thing about school, desensitized, things are too open, clearly not. They're not that open.
Well, they are open, because the thing is, like I said, there are new curriculums. So the self-stimulation is part of it.
Yes.
You've got the one where they've got grown adults being naked in front of children.
Yes.
And then we've also got these storybooks that they are reading to children,
yes.
which depicts
Like the head.
No.
Oh.
The homosexuals, right? So this is they got
giving head to each other.
Yeah, anal sex.
Yeah.
These are actually depicted in books.
Yes,
and then
I
we've
saw
got
them.
something as well called Drag Queen Story Hour, where they have men dressed as women coming in reading stories to children.
Listen.
I mean, this is all corruption as far as I'm concerned. This is not academic. This is not educational. This is not what kids need to be learning as far as I'm concerned.
I agree with what you're saying. It's not academic, but there's a lesson. It's called PHSCE. Yeah, PHSCE.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Academic lesson.
No, that's about understanding society and the different people within society.
That's where all that stuff will take place.
I agree with teaching kids, hey, we live in a modern society where we have people who identify as LGBTQ. We have people that's fine. We have Muslims here. We've got Hindus.
Where are we going to stop then? Where do you think
that's where we stop. We don't now go as far as saying this is how men and men penetrate each other in their backside.
So what about RP then? What about religious education? What do you think about that?
See, okay, I'll tell you why. This is the difference in the hypocrisy.
Tell me, yes.
When we teach religion as it is subjective. We never say this is this objective truth. We say this is what they believe in.
Yes.
But when we teach about transgenders and LGBT, we teach it as if it is fact. We teach as if this is a biological fact that people are born gay and that it is okay to change your gender. So when they talk about the Almighty God, they say this is what they believe in. Yeah. So essentially, this is fairy tales.
Yeah.
But when we but they say this is facts.
You know why
when
that
people
is?
are born gay. So like this is they're teaching you objective and are subjective.
Because you can never know something you believe. That's a fact. You can never know something you believe in.
No, but I get what you're saying, but the word believe, the word believe and the word knowing in a lot of languages, when you translate certain things, it comes in as knowing and as believing. But even if that's semantics, if I'm being honest, that's semantics, because belief does mean you see something. That's, for instance, I'll give everyone this example. You know your parents. You believe in them. You don't know them. You believe that's your parents.
Yes.
You don't 100% know. You haven't done a DNA test and said no, because
correct.
My mum and my dad have told me that my mum and my dad said they're my mum and my dad. So I believe that they're my parents.
Correct.
But I don't have any.
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Correct.
I've never done a DNA test, and I would never do a DNA test.
Correct.
I see my dad and I see his characteristics, and that's definitely my dad. I see my mum.
She said that she had you in the hospital.
Didn't your friend say 70% of people in Jamaica have the wrong dad?
That was wrong to skip.
Oh, is it? Okay. No, we had some guests that said that.
Yeah, that's we're not talking about that. That's not here. That's not here or there. But back to the actual topic.
Makes sense though.
I generally believe in general that if you're teaching children about sex too early, then you're not teaching them about abstinence. Because they're not going to say to them, you see when they talk about sex, like I said, they never taught me about love. That love is connected to this action that I'm going to be performing. I learned that myself. There's things that I think they should be teaching children more. So like being,
I don't agree with that.
Staying away from sex, actually, as a matter of fact, and just focusing on yourself and being a good person for yourself. This is what it is, but it's better to build up your testosterone because it does A, B, C, D, and this. And by doing that, you become the master of your desires and emotions, so that in the future you can actually become a better person. Because a man who can't control his desires is a weak man. He just goes around doing everything with every woman. And
absolutely,
and then he's having babies everywhere, and he's giving people all STIs. He doesn't even care because he can't control himself.
And the same thing with women. Right now, what we have is a lot of damaged teenagers and young adults who were very promiscuous in their youth, and now they cannot form strong relationships. They cannot form strong bonds, which leads to the rates of mental health in this country within young people is absolutely ridiculous. We have so many young people who are technically supposed to be the future of this country who are clinically depressed and mentally ill, and a lot of that has got to do with this promiscuous lifestyle, not just sex, but like drugs, alcohol, partying, just this careless mindset where things that should be respected and valued have been minimized to just physical actions.
Again, I put that down to parenting. I put that down to slack, westernized parenting. I mean, even people in community are slacking when it comes 100%. To parenting. Sending their kids to go and get £2 chicken from the shop instead of cooking, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Discipline levels are low all over. So where's it supposed to come from? When we want this strength, when we want this... when we want these healthy-minded teenagers, where is it supposed to come from?
I agree with you, definitely with the parents and also with the school, I think. But unfortunately, we're not really getting that. And this is like what we're highlighting is the symptoms. What you're speaking about is a disease, right? The root cause of the problem, which I agree with you. The parents and the education. I think definitely parents should do more to control their kids to add more discipline. But then again, like we've highlighted, when the parents do finally put their foot down, you got the social services and the government saying this is oppressive, this is abusive. You know, so there needs to be more community work, because like I said, a lot of ethnic minorities have been their families have been destroyed by social services, because first of all, a lot of them don't know the law. A lot of them, again, are parenting based on their own cultures, which none of us can say it's wrong. As long as it's not oppressive, you do what you're doing. And these kids get stripped from their parents, and then they get put into the system, and you're breaking down the ethnic minority community. So more of these ethnic minorities should set up some sort of program or some sort of service to help people who might be in trouble by the law in terms of parenting, and do more active work, community work.
I do also think, though, it's down to mindset. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's only us in community that makes such a fuss about, and I'm not going as far as religion, I'm just talking about in community, that makes such a fuss about sex, makes such a fuss about cheating, makes such a fuss about all having children, makes such a fuss about STDs, alcohol, drugs. In where we come from, this place, the traditions that they have, the children are drinking wine with their parents on the table from the ages of 13 and 14. It's legal for any parent to let that happen.
What?
It's an absolute legal thing. And the reason that it's legal is because it comes from tradition of this country. I can tell you all about it. Because back in the day, as a child, middle-class people would sit down with a glass of wine every night, because that's what they do. It's only us, the westernised people, and a bottle of wine and every night business, mashing up the whole system again. They sit down with a bottle of wine every night with their dinner. It's usually red, and they allow their children to have a glass. You see, their children, they do not grow up to be alcoholics. They don't.
Okay.
Yeah?
I think majority of the times they might not be alcoholics, but I think a lot of them do have alcohol problems.
No, middle-class white people don't.
No, they do. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's a play centre place here that...
But that's the women.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the women. The women are always messed up because of their dads. We're just going to that.
But most people in this country are working class. I agree with you. The middle class is a minority because...
I know, but what I'm saying is to take that lesson from people that are usually with money and educated, usually, to take that small lesson is a great thing. So it's just a small lesson.
So wait, let me just see.
They teach their children to drive early.
Yeah. So you're saying that teaching them from young about sex will destroy them having children and being more promiscuous? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that it will cut it out, of course, because you're educated now. You know what you're doing.
Do you think they're experimenting on us? Do you? Because I feel like
I think that no matter what they teach us at school, because they're always changing it. They've changed things so much. They changed stupid things like phonics to how you spell. They change it all the time. Cursive writing. Oh, you have to write cursive at all primary schools. Oh, no, you don't. They change it all the time depending on what their results are, because they're always doing surveys. They're always doing tables. They're always doing things to get results. That's what British people love. They love a report, and they love a result, and they love a referral. So they love it. That's what they do. That's how they get through. That's how they progress. So with regard to this, they could be experimenting because it's something they've never tried before, right? Is it their first time? This is the first time that this has come out. But again, looking at society as it is, what do you want them to do? There's so much media out there. Everybody's allowed a phone. Every single person has got a phone. What are we doing? What are we saying here? Right, give them a phone. They can access to it. Let's just let them go on with it. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine.
I see what you're saying, and I agree with you to a certain extent, because...
But there is no certain extent. That's what my point of this whole conversation is. There is no extent.
No, the reason why I say that is because if you're teaching my child to do anal, I think that's morally wrong.
But I don't think they're teaching your child to do anal. I think this is words that you guys are using. This don't make sense. They're teaching your child what anal is.
Why?
Cool, but what
the point is why?
My thing is this: you're teaching my child about anal, yeah, but maybe even in his natural self, he's never actually thought of that, because it's only...
And you've not implanted that seed.
Is, no?
Yeah, because I'm saying to you, at the age of 14, 15, 16, 17, I did not know what that was.
Isn't that not what education is? Learning about things that you didn't know?
No, but I'm saying learning about things that are detrimental.
How is it detrimental? I think it's more detrimental for you to tell me to go and eat cereal every day. It's more detrimental that you are promoting 5 a day and the cereal is included in it. That cereal is killing me and causing me cancer. But yet still, you can't tell me about what anal is. come on.
No, all of it. Look. You're speaking. We're not speaking on that aspect of it. All the aspects of it is wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say because cereal. I don't believe you should be drinking cow's milk, but that's a whole other story, a whole other topic for another day. I'm definitely into that stuff.
Yeah. So my point is, but what extent do we stop teaching? Where do we stop?
No, I'm saying. I think this is me. I'm saying subjectively.
Yes.
I morally think it's wrong to go and do anal. Yeah. Now,
obviously, you think it's wrong, but do you think it's wrong for your child to know that it's wrong?
Yes. No, I don't want my child to even be educated on that because that's not something that we'd even speak about. Because I believe that when you plant seeds hatch.
So what happens there now? Your child misses that lesson. Your child misses that sex educational lesson about anal. Come to school the next day, some kid goes to, I want to fuck you up the arse. He goes, what's that? Don't you think you've left your child in a really ignorant position to not know what that is?
No, my child's meant to say, what's that? Move away from me. And when they've clocked what it is, they're like,
no, because here when he says, what's that? The kid's going to answer.
Yeah, answer what?
Answer the question, what's that? What is that?
And then they're going to say, that's disgusting.
No, they're going to get
they're natural.
Do you not think it would have been better for him to get the answer of what's that on an educational, scientific, biological level rather than his mate?
But not in a storybook though. Look, there's a difference between, this is science class, right? So this is how males and females have sex. The penis, which is the actual like academic term for a male body part, enters the vagina, and then the sperm travels through the womb. This is biological, educational, scientific.
Absolutely.
But to have I'm going to show you this at the end.
I've seen it.
To see a storybook of a man laying down another, what the hell is this?
I've seen it.
This
but
is
you know
disgraceful.
what? This is the problem that we've got again. What is the okay, I don't know how
we're teaching it as if it's a storybook and it's all
this is the world. Men are doing men up the bottom. This is real.
No, they're a minority. The gay
it's
population.
Still real. It's still real.
No, but this is the
Black
problem.
people
They are
the
gay population is a small minority. Why are they being over promoted?
Let's put a pin in it.
That's the agenda.
We're gonna put a pin in it. 1 minute.
0.01% of men in this country are gay. That's so small.
3.7% of the people in this country are Black British. Let's just put a pin in it. You think when Bob came home, all right, Dad, yeah, all right, son, was like at school today. They told us about blacks today at school. What they fucking teach you about them fucking blacks for? Fucking in it. Right, Dad. You think the dad wasn't marching down the school to the headmistress to tell why does my son need to learn about these blacks?
Yeah, but there's a difference because you can't change your skin colour, but you being a homosexual is a choice. It's a sexual action. You as a human being...
I see. All
right, let me explain this. You as a human being, as a black person, something that you can't change, something that you were born with your default position, right? So you should no one should ever be oppressed by that. No one should be oppressed generally. But you as a gay person, you're trying to make an argument and existence off of your sexual preference. First of all, it's a private matter. What you do in the bedroom shouldn't be politicised. Shouldn't be promoted to children. It's a private matter. It's got nothing to do with society. I've spoken to gay people who said, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm a gay man. I don't go around parading it. It's within the privacy of my own home.
Agreed. However, when you are a gay person and you have a particular style about you that makes you stick out and makes other people realise, actually, you look a bit different from all the other men I par with, you know. And I like the way you fling up your answer. And what's that little pink thing that you're wearing there, bruv? When you get to those stages where everything is like you say, man, woman, black, white, and you can't go around as a man wearing a pink tank top with some little fluffy pink shorts and some little pink high heels. You can't do that.
You can't. No one's stopping them. We're in Britain.
You're going to get slated.
No, so, this is the thing. Uganda.
So this is what they've had to do. They've had to make laws
Big up to Uganda.
To protect those people.
No, listen. I'm both of you
to do that.
Yeah, but I'm saying both of you lot got good points. But the point here, what you're not seeing, is that I morally think it's wrong. So if my child gets to the age where they want to do whatever they want to do, they can. But under my roof, just like when I say, whatever I say under this roof runs.
Yeah, but you're just being one of those ignorant parents that just do that.
Let me be ignorant, please. You know what? Let me be the ignorant parent.
Yeah, but you and this is where we get racism.
No.
I'm teaching my child.
No, Marsh. I'm telling my child I don't want them to tell my child to do anal.
I wasn't allowed to go to people's houses because of the colour of my skin.
Yeah, but the thing is, Marsh, you know what?
That's nothing to do with anal.
No, but Rare Talk. So what I'm saying to you is that even black people
not letting me come to your house.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah,
it's not anal.
Let me say something. Even black people themselves have got frustrated and have said that the LGBTQ movement is trying to associate their struggle with the black struggle, right? So they're trying to say, well, you're trying to oppress us like the way the black people are oppressed. With all due respect, just from an observatory point of view, the oppression that black people went through is nowhere compared to what the LGBT.
And it will never be.
Okay, why? Because the LGBT, if anything, right, this is how you know the system is so biased. They've done more for the LGBTQ rights than they've done for black rights or any other person's rights. But what is their struggle though? Their struggle is, I want to dress like a girl. I want to sleep with the same sex. What kind of struggle is that?
No, the only struggle they have is, please just let me be gay in peace.
No one's bothering you though.
No, but they are being bothered.
No.
Come on.
Do you know?
They're actually killing themselves at higher rates than they're getting killed by other people. The suicide rates within the LGBTQ is more than the homicide rate against them. So what's that? How are they being oppressed?
Well, I think that the homicide rate against them, again, is this same thing that we've got. Because you're not even allowed to laugh at anybody anymore, you know, on the roads before you get arrested. Like, I'm not allowed to laugh at you because you have a great thing on you. I'm not allowed to laugh at you because you have a beard. Even if I think it funny. If you feel that you have been victimised by me laughing at you because of your beard, you can easily go and report me and I will have to answer some questions.
But that goes back to the hypocrisy. Ain't this supposed to be a country based on freedom of speech? So they can go around mocking the Quran, they can mock whoever they want to mock, but you can't say nothing about... I realise there's two main protected groups in this country, the Jewish community and the LGBTQ community. But this country loves to praise itself on freedom of speech, but it only exists when you want to mock other people, but certain people you have to be quiet because of their sensitivities.
And another thing that I've learned, the trick here is to speak quietly to a lot of people quietly, because if you speak loud and you get heard, they will try to shut you down, like Tate, for instance. Yeah, he is a perfect example of a shutdown. They don't like him. He's got far too much to say, and as far as they were concerned, it was influencing their people. Yeah, their boys mainly, and they don't want their boys influenced by Tate because, like you said, they want their boys to be weak. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know why that is, though.
But the thing is, Marsha,
understand why that is.
Look, the main point is this, yeah. Like you say about, I've worked with gay people. I don't care. See me, when I'm working, my main focus is work, get my money. I don't really care about what you're doing. You respect me, I respect you. Nice to meet you, mate. No problem, right? Okay. But the main thing that I'm talking about is the superimposing. So, for instance, as a Muslim, I don't expect, if you came to me and said, I don't believe in what you believe in, I don't believe it exists, you're entitled to that opinion. I would never want to impose my religion on you. The most that Muslims will do is give da'wah. We might do a bit of preaching, and if you accept, you accept. If not, that's it. I'm not here to superimpose my lifestyle on you. And I'm sure you're not trying to superimpose your, like, definitely not. Each to their own. Even in the religion, in Islam, there's a verse that says, "To me, my way, and to you, yours." Yes. Right? You can't get any tolerant than that.
No, absolutely.
But with this community, what we got going on, it is superimposing to the point where I can't say as a British citizen who's exercising my freedom of speech, which was fought for me to have during the 18th century. They fought to allow us to have this freedom of speech. I can't say, I'm not going to be bigoted and say, chicha man, that's I say, look, to be honest with you, mate, don't agree with your lifestyle, and I don't want you teaching it to my kids. That is enough to get you arrested, persecuted, and put in jail.
That's
the problem.
That's to me is the most wildest thing ever, that you can't even say that I do not agree with it.
The thing about it is, and we'll go back to the general situation of sending your child to school. You send your child to school. Once you send them, you are in a contractual agreement that says whatever happens at this school, I agree with.
Not really, because I don't send my child to go to get bullied. So if my child's being bullied, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to sort it out. If my child's being bullied by the teacher, because I was bullied by teachers, there were some teachers that didn't like me, so they treated me a certain way, and that stunted the growth of me. And I was a smart child, but because that teacher could see that, they weren't answering my questions anymore. Every time I put my hand up, they'd always choose the person next to me, and I'd look at him and I'd think, and I never went home and told my parents. So I was going through this oppression. So you have to understand, just because you send your child to school doesn't mean that everything that happens at school is correct. There's a lot of bad practices that the child is being taught at school. That's why children learn how to swear. Some children don't know how to swear, go to school, to come home and start swearing at their parents.
That is the thing about school. As soon as you let your children go to school, you've lost your child. You just have.
I agree with Marsh here.
I don't want you to lose your child.
I'm not saying
you have.
No, but you can't
from
lose.
the age of 3.
No, but you can't lose your child. What can happen, and this is what does happen.
Do you know
is that they push an agenda.
No.
They push an agenda that's given to them from the government, that's given them from somebody else. That's trying to destroy it. Because I have to understand this. In other countries, this stuff cannot run.
And that is what the beauty of it all is. Like I just
go back to your own country.
It just brings me back to
listen, I agree with you. I'm looking to go back, by the way.
You have to.
That is my goal. I agree with you. And inshallah, I'm trying to do that.
Seriously.
I'm
Save
set
the
on
pennies,
that.
people pack and stack.
Yes. Go back to your own country.
The pound is strong, yeah. The pound is strong, and nobody's supposed to be here. This is the trick. Everybody's supposed to be is missing. We're only here because our parents did not do what they were supposed to do. You think your mum and dad are supposed to? This is what happened. Me I go England and come back in 3 weeks. We come back in 3. No, mommy, I been up some money and I come back in 3 weeks. Mommy, I send 3 weeks. Which part?
10 to 20 years.
30, 40, 50.
Got 3 generations.
So there's the mistake, yeah? Stop. Like, we have to go right back to the root to find the problem. When my grandparents left where they left with the intention to come back. Only one set got to go back. When they got to go back, they were so old, they died literally immediately as soon as they touched land.
So wait, I just want to get this. So you're saying the cure to us sending our children being taught sex education, if we don't like it, then we should go back.
You're not synchronized. This is a problem. This is how when you get unsynchronized as a community, this is what happens.
That's really, really so true.
He knows what I'm talking about. But no, like you have Pan-African movements. You have all these movements that are talking about let's go back. I absolutely 100 million % agree.
They'd be shagged without us anyway.
Absolutely.
The problem that I'm finding is that whenever we get to a standstill of wrong behavior, the first thing that we subject ourselves to is that, oh, you know what, let's just go back to where we came from.
It's not about that.
But my thing is this, yeah, as much as this country's advanced, I think that this country's actually gone backwards. Yeah. And gone backwards on the actual belief system that the people have any sort of power or any sort of say over their children. Once, as a parent, do you know how demoralizing it is to know that my child's being taught something and I don't agree with it, and I can't say anything because I'm going to be looked at as homophobic, transphobic, or something phobic, instead of me being
but
a
let
parent
me ask you this,
that has power over his child.
But let me ask you this,
Authority over your child. Authority over your child. Only when they're in your yard. Only when they're at home.
Yeah, but that's not right though.
Well, what else can you say?
But the thing is, if you look at the school education system, it's not really there to inspire children or create doctors and lawyers. It's to create workers. Even if you look at, you start at 8 o'clock in the morning. Most shift work starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then in my school, you had this little weird buzzer thing, almost as if we were in prison. Every time the buzzer went, they would release us out of our school rooms, right?
And they have isolation.
I used to be put in isolation all the time. Yeah, that's you a rebel.
Agree. Now, see, that is something I will bun down the school for. Isolation.
Why? Because you sent your kid to school, your kid's acting bad. Why are you mad now?
Right.
Why are you mad?
Yeah.
Why are you mad now?
I'm going to give you the
No,
reason.
why are you mad now? You can't be mad.
I'm not actually mad, but I'm going to have more to say about you teaching one little lesson that's half an hour about some sex thing that my children know better anyway. I'll be more mad about that than you. I'll be more mad that you sent my child to one room, yeah, instead of him sitting in a lesson just because he flicked a pencil. I'm more mad at that.
Yep.
I'm more mad at that. I'm not mad at anything, but if I'm going to be more mad at anything, that is going to be it. See, when I send my children to school, I don't worry one piece. If my phone rings, it rings. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't worry. I just can't wait for them to come home. I don't care about school. School is a place you go to make friends. School is a place you go to learn to share. School is a place you learn to be a part of the community and meet people of your own age group. That's it. School is... I am not letting school be this one. Tell you what to do. Tell you how to behave. Tell you how to dress. Because I've taught you all that before you left the house.
But that's the thing. I went to school at a point where we never actually used to have to wear uniforms, right? I went to a school that never made us wear uniforms. So everybody could express themselves in their own way. Then I went to a school where everyone has to wear the same uniform. And again, this is preparing you for the workforce.
Conforming.
Now, and another thing as well is if you look at the curriculum, right? Because you have a lot of kids who have autism, ADHD, they have other disorders, right? And it does not mean that they are disadvantaged.
Definitely not.
The school curriculum isn't based on how intelligent you are or what what you can advance in. It's more about how many of you can memorize and write down what you memorize. Now, the point is, this is why I always have an issue with IQ tests when people talk about IQ, right? If you have a monkey and an elephant and you have a tree, and you say to the monkey, climb the tree, and you tell the elephant to climb the tree. The monkey's going to climb the tree, and the elephant can't climb the tree. But even though the elephant can't climb the tree, he can move that tree, right? So they both have something that they're good at. But according to the curriculum, if you can't climb that tree, you're dumb. You're done for. You're getting a B, you're getting an F, and that's it. You're not qualifying.
It doesn't go across the board.
Right.
But again, once we start opening up to a bit more sex education, a bit more nudity, a bit more drag queen stuff, you'll find that the curriculum will start opening out to people that are good at climbing. And then you'll get a set of people that go, bloody hell, man, I take my child to school to learn, not to climb. Like, literally, you can't win. They're trying to expand.
No, but we've already established that the men need more testosterone, right? Yeah. And the women need to value themselves more. If we have education systems, so for instance, for the men, let's get them doing more sports again. Let's let them do more star jumps, more press-ups. But that's the thing. Is it better for men to be taught, yes, you're a young man, let's get your testosterone up, or here's a man in a wig reading some stories? What's that going to do to the psyche of the young boy?
This is the problem that I've got. So for me, when it comes to strength, physical education, outside school activities, anything that is really to my son's benefit, I teach them. I don't rely on the school to do that because I understand that one teacher with the 30 kids with their script of what they have to teach my son, that might not be on it. So I do not get involved with anything like that. Also, another thing I really disagree on is black people and music and sports. Forget it. Like, literally, if they want people to run for their country, get a Polish person to do it.
But
now I'm fed up of it.
But so let me just not I don't want to get lost in translation. So in general, you're saying that teaching sex education will open up the minds of children to be able to do more.
I think that their sex education is a small part of the educational system at school. I think it's almost insignificant to what your child's foundation should be at home. I feel that if you're not giving your child better values and better foundations,
I disagree.
Of course they're going to go to school and learn how to be a batty man.
I disagree, and the reason why I disagree,
the
reason why I disagree is because I believe that if you teach your children about certain things about LGBT, that you can be a boy or girl, you can mutilate your body to the point where it's unrecognizable for the future
and irreversible
decisions. So, for instance, if my child's 8 years old and my daughter says, "Yo, I want to be," my son says he wants to be a girl, yeah. Then they cut off his penis, they do all this weird stuff to create a vagina inside of him. Then by 11, 13, 15, he starts seeing girl. He starts saying, "Well, I like girl, you know. I don't really want it. I want my thing back."
Yeah, but hold on a minute. How did something get so far? How the hell did they get to the hospital?
Because in school now, if your child says, if you deny your child a sex change, yeah, that's called child abuse.
I know someone that transitioned at 14 in this country. They were given hormone replacements because legally, I think you have to be 16 or 18 legally, which is, fair enough. You're an adult. But some of these children have reached such a desperate state. As we know, they're going to the black market. They're going to the illegal. They're getting exploited by these other people.
And that is why it's good to educate them not to do that kind of stuff because they're going to do it anyway. There is no school that have taught a child to be gay.
So 1 second. Do you believe that...
No school has taught a child to be gay.
How do people become gay? Because I'm not going to make a generalised statement, but a lot of cases...
I feel I have my view because I have a gay brother.
Okay. I'm just going to say my view, Well, from what I've learned, some people say they're born gay. I don't believe anyone's born gay. But I have seen a link between child abuse and sexual assault to a lot of men becoming gay. I used to work for a man who's in his 70s who identifies as bisexual. Right. And he said the reason why... And he's a conservative Englishman, right? And he said that when he was younger... He said, when I was younger at 6 years old, I was raped by my gardener. Yeah. And I've actually heard the story multiple times by gay men, even some lesbians who either say they were raped or sexually abused by an adult, which caused them to obviously live this lifestyle.
Yes. Yeah, because a lot of lesbians are bisexual. That's a fact. A lot of lesbians have children already. I've found that. But fortunately for me, I have a gay cousin who's female and a gay brother. And so they're both of quite up-to-date ages. They're both in their 30s. So I have a real view of what they've told me. So for my brother... his absent dad did not help.
Okay.
He was playing with dolls at a really early age. His mum never used to stop him. If my dad used to come round, his mum used to say, "Put those dolls away, quick, quick, quick." And it was like a taboo thing. And he always used to wonder why. But he always remembers being feminine. He remembers being feminine. He remembers wanting to wear his mum's shoes and wanting to wear his dad's dress. And that's not every other boy. That's not often. That's not regular. So I reckon that's something from within. My son's never come to me and said, let me try on your dress.
Do you believe me that the society pushes agendas on people that make them become a certain way? So I'll give you an example. Men and women is the two binary genders there is. There's nothing else. There's nothing other than men and women.
Agreed.
There's nothing else. But for a man to like another man is unnatural, and for a woman to love another woman is unnatural. And I mean that in the sense of reproduction.
Agreed.
Not in the sense of
how they feel.
Yeah, because someone could feel like they like men. A woman could feel like she likes women.
You can't tell people how they
She might
feel.
just fancy the woman for a day and then tomorrow she doesn't like it. But I'm saying in the naturality of it, as in like, there's no reproduction that can happen through this process.
Yeah, there's no end game to this.
So if everybody on this planet was gay, there would be no reproduction. There'd be society would be finished.
Yes.
So we need at this moment right now, because I don't know what they're trying to perform in the future. But
oh yeah, I think I might have a conspiracy.
yeah. So I believe that the reason why where kids are becoming gay more open with it, because when I first came onto TikTok,
more open with it.
Yes,
Perfect.
when I first came onto TikTok, I never forget this. This is like 2020 when the lockdown happened. I first just jumped on it. I just said, I'm bored at home. I jumped on it. And everybody in their bio had the rainbow flag. I just remember every person. And I was like, what's going on? But I think at that time, something was happening on TikTok. But I was so unaware of it because I was just like jumping into a world that I didn't understand. So everybody had a rainbow flag in their thing. So,
LGBTQ
so I
was coming then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was formed then or something.
No, but I thought in my mind, that everybody is gay. That's what, because I'm ignorant of certain things. So I thought everybody was gay. But what I started to see was some people wasn't gay. They were
just supporting it.
They were just supporting it.
Yeah.
So now, me as a child, I don't know any different. And I know that this is to do with gayness. Now, I'm thinking this is normal. So guess what? You know, I might just try it. So now you're trying things on the
People
basis
do it on a
it's put out
trend.
there.
It's a trend.
Yeah, but do you not think that people have been experimenting all their lives, all throughout history of humanization?
I think certain people pretend to be gay. I know some girls, especially like young girls, they pretend to be lesbian. Yeah, they pretend to be lesbians
that is a
just to seem different and
That's
just
a
to seem
fashion.
And
That
like
is a
what
fashion.
Rare said, it was actually true. I think a real actual gay person is somebody that acts upon it. Your feelings are so real that you act.
And that is
but
why
he also said that there are people who only have the feeling and who don't act upon it.
Yes.
I know some people, like you said, some girls, she's attractive, but you're not going to go any further than that.
I am always attracted to good-looking women. I appreciate a good-looking woman, no end. I'm looking at back off. I'm looking at breast. I'm looking at the whole bang because I like it in the sense of I like the fact that you even look after your body. I like the fact that you look good and you're demonstrating that you look. I love that because to me that's like almost like a celebration then from woman to woman. And I even appreciate it in a good-looking man that looks after himself. You can see if somebody's looked after themselves. And you know what I've learned it most is obviously growing up and seeing celebrities. You can tell which celebrities like now looked after themselves as they were going along, and the ones that just like, boy, you had a bad life. However, I think that we have been experimenting the whole time. It's been one continuous experiment.
Yeah,
Facts. And I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm saying to push the agenda. So like I said, when you plant seeds, I can plant seeds inside people's minds. I've learned this from a very young age. I used to even say to my friends, he's planting the seed. And we used to have this saying that, and you lot would never understand this, but we'd call it the grape heart effect. The grape heart effect here. So this is, your heart's meant to be big, innit? Everyone's meant to have a big heart. Like, this is how your heart's meant to be. A grape heart is when somebody has put something in the air to make everybody not want to do the thing. So, yeah, let's go to Brixton. Man, I'm kind of tired of you, but you got the grape heart effect. Because then what would happen is the other guy would be like, yeah, I want to go home as well. Yeah, I might go home as well. So everyone's going home now. So it was the grape heart effect. Because someone planted this seed. So again, if I'm going to school as a 6-year-old, I just want to play with my things. I want to see my best friends. I want to play in the playground. you're telling me that I can do anal today, or you're telling me that I can give fellatio to a man. So now, as
But
a
it's
child,
the same reason why kids believe in Santa Claus, but they know these because we teach them these BS things, and kids are kids because they're so naive they will believe this. So we say Santa Claus exists, they believe it. Anal sex exists, you can do it, they believe it.
It's not a belief anal sex exists, it's true.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When we're implanting
This is my point. Okay, we're
implanting these seeds.
The belief of religion and the belief of anal sex are not the same thing, because religion is a belief. It's nothing tangible. We can't touch it. None of us have never seen Solomon or Jesus or Allah. We haven't physically.
Yeah, I hear that, but I'm saying that.
But you see anal sex. You see anal sex. It's not a belief. It's real thing.
Yeah, but kids will act upon it the same way that they generally believe Santa Claus is coming down the chimney, right? Because kids are naive. So when you tell kids certain narratives, it can go as far as them acting it and believing in it so much so.
Yeah, but we've got a real issue here because Santa Claus is not real.
But we teach it to them as if he is real.
I know, but eventually a child there's no adult that thinks Santa Claus is real. Not one single adult thinks Santa Claus is real.
The main point is when we're teaching kids about certain realities that some that don't exist. The fact that children can believe Santa Claus exists. I know it exists, but I'm saying
why are you trying to hide it from them?
No, we're not.
We don't need to push. No, it's not about hide it. We don't need to push it in them.
Excuse me. No, there's no gay people here. No gay people there.
No.
We don't need to physically show it to them.
So how are they supposed to know to stay away from it?
No, listen.
So you believe that you need to stay away from it then?
Yes.
Oh.
Listen. Hey,
so you believe they should stay? Okay.
Let's not get it twisted. I am a true born heterosexual. I only believe in men and women having sex because I believe in reproduction. I believe in people having babies. I believe in love. I believe in men and women being attracted. This is what I do not believe in. Ignorant people that think this is going on in the world. Our children should not know about it.
So you believe they should see it in order to not do it, but what if it has the reverse effect? So you're willing. So you're promoting it then. So you're willing to take that risk.
This is what I'm trying to say. I don't think there is a risk. I don't think there is no way in hell's earth that no school can make no child gay. But no school can make no child go suck dick.
But that's what I'm trying to prove to you, that schools can make children believe in Santa Claus.
Right, no, it's not the school that makes children believe in Santa Claus, and you know it's not. It's the dumbass parent that every Christmas buys these stupid presents and doesn't want to tell the child that it's from them.
But the main point is, right, aside from kids are naive. So no matter what you tell them, whether it's Santa Claus, whether there's two men having sex.
The problem that you've got is that if you tell every child real stuff, all they're going to do is learn real stuff. Being gay is real. Gay people are real. Transvestites are real.
And that's fine. We agree with that.
Having anal sex is real. It's all real. So
we don't have a problem with that.
Knowing,
but showing a picture. I mean, come on. This is highly inappropriate.
God, so what am I going to show a picture of?
We don't need to show them pictures.
Okay, this is just as bad. Showing a picture of woman and man having sex. Showing a picture of a man and man having sex.
No, I think there's a hikmah.
I'm saying both of them. In my eyes, you shouldn't be teaching a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old that. I feel like an 8-year-old. My child, some children are still wet in the bed at 6, you know.
Teach my child wet in the bed at 13, and
there's a wisdom to doing it.
I'm saying there's things that are more integral in us. There's more things that's integral to be teaching my child than be teaching my child how to give fellatio.
Agreed, but they're not going to be teaching your child that in a adult way. It's going to be in a childish way.
There's no child, or when it comes to sex is sex. There's no adult or child way to do sex. Sex is sex.
Okay, so do you agree, Marsh, with the pictures of them showing two men penetrating each other?
I can't say I don't agree with it because it's real.
No, see, that's the problem. It's better to say, all right, if I'm going to give any sort of way to do it, gay men and men have sex with each other, right? And I would use scientific, appropriate terms. I would not have a visual picture of two men penetrating each other.
The problem that you've got is it is real.
And also, let me just say one thing about this. One second. This is another.
If it was all fake, I can understand what you're saying. Superheroes, for instance, why have they got Batman and Robin? Why have they got Superman? Why have they got Wonder Woman? Why are they showing my children all these things? These things are
because they want to lie to the kids. But also, if we're going to teach,
I don't agree with that. I agree with the truth.
Okay, but if we're going to teach children about men and men lay down with each other, yes. This is love, this is beautiful. Let's also teach them that you can catch AIDS, you can catch HIV. Let's also teach them that when a man enters upon another man, he has to break his anal muscle because that's just facts, right?
That they they
don't. They teach it as if this is a beautiful thing. This is love. At least give the context, because the same way we say to women, when you have sex with a man, you might catch an STD. You know, you might get pregnant. That's fine. So give the pros and the cons. Don't sit there and make out love is love and this is beautiful when there's other stuff that comes with it as well.
I agree. So obviously, if they're going to be educating, they have to be educating on an open platform where they have to give the... I don't see the upside of it because obviously that is the preference of whoever is doing it, and they have to give the downside. How do you know they're not?
I generally do not believe that they're not because...
Yeah, again, there's another belief. We're not sure, are we?
Well, I actually know somebody that was actually arrested in Speaker's Corner who clearly stated the fact and said 26 million people have died because of AIDS and that he was done for homophobia. He was done for homophobia. I can even show you the article.
Yeah, I know. But then again, the article is the article. But obviously, we know that the article, there won't be everything in it.
No, I've seen the footage. The guy said 26 million people have died because of AIDS, which is widely spread amongst the gay community. Right?
Oh, right, okay.
Okay.
Right.
And
now,
that was...
He said that.
Yeah. Is that homophobic?
Yeah, but that's not true.
So...
Widely, but it's not true because loads of heterosexual people.
But we're digressing. We're digressing. I just want to bring this back down to the.
And also, I'm going to say another thing, just to say, you see anything the government are doing. So you've got government people dressing up in women's clothes all the time. You've got government people who want to change sex. You've got those MPs that want to do this. You've got MPs that are getting married. You've got MPs that are sleeping with young boys
and pigs.
When they do it, obviously they're going to bring it out into law.
No, but
because it's their place.
That's a good point.
No, that's what they do.
The politics is influenced by the politicians.
Absolutely.
Do you lot understand? Yeah, that the greater agenda here, yeah, is that they're trying to legalize paedophilia. So,
what do you mean?
So let me just go a little bit further for you lot. The moment that you push sex onto children is the moment that you are subconsciously pushing paedophilia on society. And the reason why they're pushing paedophilia on society is because they want to give less sentences to people that do paedophilia, and they want to make it seem like paedophilia is something that you're born with. And the same way you lot just said, and I'm just remember you said this, and I don't know if you didn't say it, but you said yes. Someone can be born like and think that they're gay, yeah, or they can be like their whole life they're just gay because they're feminine. But then if we can take that concept and we can use that concept in this manner, then why can't we say now that there's someone who could actually grow up and think that he's been a pedophile?
Happening.
So, yeah, but it does happen already. And also...
so that's wrong. That's wrong.
Other things happen
so
as
when
well.
Marsh.
They're saying that paedophilia is a sexual orientation.
Absolutely.
One sec. So where does it draw the line now? Because this is where I said, if you go too far out of your moral compass, now you have to accept the same way you accepted all of these other things. Why would you not accept a paedophile?
Listen to this though. Listen to what I'm actually going to say. Do you not seriously think that if you are a paedophile, you need some serious help, you need support, you don't need to be bun?
If you're a paedophile,
do you not think in your brain you are... No, literally, like I'm training to be a counsellor.
I'm not gonna lie. If you're
and I want to work within the criminal justice.
No, but I'm saying
service.
if you're
gonna meet...
Cool, no problem.
No, I hear what you're saying.
If you're a paedophile,
I couldn't do it personally.
If you're a paedophile, you deserve prison and you're not ever to come out. And the reason why is because you're a danger to society. If you're looking at a 3-year-old child or a 2-year-old child and thinking they're attractive,
that's an illness, Andrew.
And then you want to, then you need to be taken away from society because you're a danger.
Right? Okay, but
it's like if I'm a gunman that goes around shooting innocent people, I'm a danger.
If it's an illness, no, because it's
not an illness.
No, it is an illness to look at a 3-year-old and want to sexually.
You're sickly. You're mentally sick.
There you go. That makes you ill, no?
You're a mentally sick person.
Does that not make you ill if you're mentally sick?
There's some things that you need to be diagnosed with, and the only diagnosis is one thing. But yeah.
But okay, well, like I say, we're not going there. See, for me, where my mind's so open, and I've got children, and who's going to tell what my children are going to turn out to be like? I don't know. You get all walks in this life, and I've just believed, and I know everybody should be given a chance.
So, all right, cool, no problem. If you're saying
not a paedophile, because the definition of a paedophile is a grown adult who is sexually attracted to children.
I know, but you can't bun them.
No, so I
might be able to be healed.
No. I'm talking about
There's no healing for someone like
this is where I'll meet in the ground with you. If they have these feelings, we need to work on that before it turns into action.
Agreed.
But once you commit that action, I mean, I've seen cases, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. For you as a man to even do that,
no,
you deserve fire. as far as I'm
Absolutely.
concerned.
Because
But if
you've
it's in
gone
your
too
head,
far.
and the reason why it's most likely in a lot of these guys' heads, because when men reach a level of sexual depravity, they're willing to do anything. They will lay down with
Absolutely.
animals, dead bodies, old
Absolutely.
people, children. And again,
Absolutely.
that is a product of society, this incel movement. So again, society has a huge part to play in these
So
deviances.
what about the statement that every man is a potential rapist? What about that?
What's that got to do with this conversation?
What do you think?
Well,
about that?
I'm saying that the way that a man is created,
Yeah,
he has
it's
these
possible.
he has these urges,
Yeah.
and if these urges are not controlled, like I said,
Yeah.
when a man has reached such a state of sexual depravity,
Yeah.
he's willing to do the madness. Because
Brilliant.
you know what I learned as well. Let me ask you this, yeah? I learned something here about
I don't
sex.
believe every man's born.
One second, one
Obviously you
second, one
wouldn't.
second.
Obviously you wouldn't.
But
That's
why would I? Why would I
One
agree
second
that?
though.
I've never.
Because it's a fact.
It's not a fact.
But one
Of course
second,
it
they
is.
done
It's
they
not a
done a
fact.
study on
It's
the
not a
male's
fact.
brain,
It's not
yeah.
a fact.
It's
It
not a
is.
fact.
They
It's
done
not a
it.
fact.
One second
It's not
though,
a
they
fact.
done a study on the male's brain, yeah, and they said that men, when
No
men
man out there think like
when
that.
men are having sex, they lose all logic. Yeah, so they say there's a part of brain. There's a part
Who
of brain.
doesn't know that?
But that's what I'm saying, though. I never
This
knew
is not
that.
BS.
But women.
let me
the same
land, though.
thing
I'm
happens-
saying-
Same thing happens
No,
with
wait,
women.
you
Once-
just need
no,
to
no, no,
know
no,
it.
no.
You
Men
just
are willing-
needed to have had sex to know that.
No, what I'm saying is, men when they do nasty stuff, yeah,
Oh,
they say that,
nasty.
yeah, so men's
But it is
logic.
nasty.
They say that men lose all logic when it comes to sex. That's why
Yes.
they're willing to engage in more
Yes.
freaky stuff
Yes.
because they have this thing in their brain.
Yes.
That's why women tend to feel more guiltier sometimes after sex,
Yeah.
or they might regret it. So a woman can have a one night stand, and a man will feel like, yeah, I'm the man because his logic has gone out the window.
Yeah.
But a woman will have self-hate and guilt because she understands her body more. Because men, once they're in that zone,
Thank you.
they're like animals.
Right, so let me just put a pin in
Let me
it.
listen. No. You lot ain't gonna slander men
we're
while I'm
not.
sitting
We're
there.
They're
We're
like
not.
animals.
You're not.
Yeah,
no,
that's
no,
why they
men
will
are
do the
not
most
like animals.
heinous things.
Let
No,
me
no, no, no,
continue
no.
with this conversation.
Women
of
have
what
done
we're
way more
talking
heinous things
about.
than men.
We're talking about this is very serious because we've got to some pinnacle points here. Right. So we've agreed with some scientific facts about men and their nature.
That's not a scientific fact. That's what you lot have both said. Where's the evidence of this?
Men lose all logic when they're doing
But
sex.
that's
That's
not.
why.
But that's not to mean that men innately in them think that they are grapists, bro. I'm
No,
not
that's a
accepting that.
different. That's a
No, you
different
don't
thing.
think
But
that you're rapist, but because you have a penis that has its own physical mind, potentially...
It doesn't have its own physical mind.
Yeah, it
You
does.
control yourself.
not every man though. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
most men are not capable of doing that.
Yeah.
That's a lie because most men are not even getting pom pom anymore.
Well, that
So-
might
so
be
I-
why. That might
you have
be
to
why
control
things are on
yourself.
the up.
I mean, look, the
How?
high. Look.
There's more sexual assaults than ever now.
Exactly.
By
for
men.
that reason.
Look, the
No,
highest.
it's not because
One
it's-
second.
It's because of the deviancy in society.
Excuse
when
me.
it comes to
The
it.
highest rates of paedophilia are done by men. The
Yeah.
highest statistics of rapes are men. Bestiality.
Men don't speak up. No, stop.
Men. Stop.
No, your statistics
We're
are
looking
all
at
wrong.
our statistics.
Your
Yes,
statistics
women
are wrong.
rape, but
No,
men
no,
rape
no,
more.
your statistics are wrong. Let me
Women
tell you.
commit bestiality, but men do it more.
No,
Women
no,
are
no, 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 no.
paedophiles, but men do it
There
more.
was a
So there's
video-
something within men that they can't control themselves.
Did
It's a fact.
you just do a video on a woman in Milwaukee? Was it Milwaukee, America? What did she do with the animal?
Yeah, but that's not.
But-
That's
so-
not
so-
isolated.
one second,
we
one
know
second.
that. I
Common.
said women
Where's the
commit.
men? Where's the men? That do it?
Statistically, men do it more.
There's no statistics.
More.
Your statistics-
Men were most likely to commit bestiality than women, and statistics show it. We look at the convictions, men and women, there are more men doing it.
Because men-
are raping donkeys,
Look,
sheep, all sorts of other stuff.
One second. Let me
woman
put this
can't
out.
rape a donkey.
Let me just put this out there to you.
That's right.
Women are committing.
If it's got a hole, you're gonna find something.
Telling
Alright,
you.
so let me speak because you lot are just talking now. Let me speak. A lot of sexual assault happens to young men, but they never report it because they don't even know that it's
How
actually
do you
By
know it's
other
happening
men.
then?
Hold on, by other men.
No. By women.
How do you know? If it's
Even
not been
other men,
reported?
even
Because a lot of men, I speak to a lot of men. Yeah,
Whatever.
I speak to a lot of men, and
Yeah.
they say weird stuff to me, like their stepmom was moving like this.
We're
or
not saying women
doing
don't
stuff
do
like
it.
that, doing weird stuff around him, or like his big girl cousin was doing this, or this.
the point is, women can control their
a lot
sexual
of-
urges better than men. We're not. When our sexual
that is
urges don't take
why-
control the way that you lot do.
No, but even if that is a fact here, but you can't say now because of that men are ingrately just rapists. Bro.
I'm
They're
not
just
saying
I
that,
didn't-
but
was
statistically,
not the-
more men.
That was not the statement.
Say the same thing you said again.
Men are potentially.
It's
Every
about
man is a
potential.
potential rapist.
No, it's not true.
If you got a penis, yes, it is.
No, because what you're saying is that every man has the thought in his mind.
No, every man has the resources and the tool.
But then that's every woman has the way to manipulate a man.
Yeah,
Look,
there you
it's-
go.
Yeah, we can agree with that. We can agree with that. We can actually agree
We're
with
going to
that.
agree with
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What? Because it's actually true. You don't have to agree.
exactly.
It's a
No,
fact.
Yeah.
No,
And
it's a-
what I
so
just
with
told
men
you-
as well.
It's a fact. No, it's not.
What I've just
That's
told
not
you is a fact.
That's not a fact.
Unfortunately, it
It's not a
is.
fact.
Yeah.
What scientists? What white scientists gave you
You
this?
don't need to have the scientist. You just need to have a penis and be a man.
So by having a penis, that means that I could potentially do that.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
You could if you wanted to.
If I gave you a gun, could you
Unless you were
potentially be a
disabled.
murderer?
You could be a murderer as well.
If I had a gun, yes.
Yeah, so
But I
what's
don't have
the
a
difference?
penis, do I? That's the
what's
only
the difference?
difference. I don't have a
Because-
penis.
so-
I can't penetrate.
So you, so basically, do you lot both go this concept that only men can do rape, women can't rape men? Is that both you lot
No,
think?
What I
women
know
can.
is I understand this about rape. It is to do with penetration.
Okay, so that means that a woman can't rape a man.
No, I can get a tool and I can.
So if I'm sleeping and you get on top of me and you start doing whatever you're doing because I'm hard, you're saying that that's not rape, yeah? But I haven't consented to this. Remember that it's consent, yeah.
Penetrational consent, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. But I'm knocked out, but my thing's hard.
That's
like a rock.
rape. Yeah, that's rape. That would be
Yeah.
considered by the definition rape.
Yeah, but who's going to report that after you've enjoyed it and you've
Thank you very
ejaculated?
you know what?
Because of logic. They don't care about logic, but we feel the guilt.
Stop. Did you hear what she said?
Yeah.
Again, go back to my actual original point.
Who's going to report that?
So men don't report these things, but so the statistics look like more men are suffering and more women are suffering than men.
No,
The
okay.
same way with domestic violence. Domestic violence against men happens more for men than women. And the only time you realize this is when you start to talk to men and they start telling you the crazy. Domestic violence is not is punching.
No, 'cause
Domestic
it's not,
violence
it's
is a probably
mental.
psychological
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
She's put me down. She's put me down to the point where I don't even believe in myself.
No,
I'm a
no
fat
one's
piece of crap
denying
and
that
I'm
women
gonna kill
don't
myself.
commit these crimes,
So
but
what I'm trying to say-
statistically, men do it more. If you
That's
look
what
at the
we're
rates
saying.
of
It's not true.
go and look
Where's
at the
your
statistics.
What statistics? From what site?
Okay, this is facts.
I'm talking about real
Rare
life because
Talks.
I'm really in
Rare
the field.
Talks. This is
It's
real
not
life.
facts,
If we
it's
look
not
at
facts.
bestiality, how many women committed it? How many men committed it? The men's number will be significantly high. If we look at rape, the men that did it, the women that
Well,
did it,
recently,
it will be
bestiality-
significantly high for men.
Okay, no problem. But recently, bestiality, we saw it live
That's
in the
one
flesh.
case.
No, but
bro.
we're talking about.
that I highlighted is a woman, by the way. Yeah.
I saw that case before you even said it. Someone sent it to me
Okay,
already.
but I
saw
highlighted
it
it,
on a case
and I highlighted Eleanor Williams, who lied about rape.
It's only one case. These
One
things don't
case,
happen
but
often.
the fact is, it is a case that is
Oh,
open
absolutely,
to our eyes,
and it exists. However, we cannot.
and they're usually
deny.
white women that do this as well.
Okay, so right. Anyway, we're going off topic because my point. I want to bring us back to my point of what mostly happens, and when it comes down to being gay, I think mostly as a man, when you're gay, you know early on, early, whether you like wet fanny or not. You know early.
I believe a lot of women, and this is gonna sound
Oh, look,
controversial.
you can't let go. Let's go.
I believe a lot of women go through a couple heartbreaks and think, flip it, I'm just gonna turn to vagina.
Well, this is what happens with a lot of women. It's usually their fathers, unfortunately, that give them that childhood trauma. And as they grow up, they...
It's nothing to do with fathers. They get their heart broken a few times and they think, flip
No,
it.
it's it because
That's why
usually...
you said earlier, you said most girls that
Are bisexual.
are bisexual, but they class themselves as lesbians now.
Yeah, because what they've tried to do, they've tried to give it a go, even though they saw their mum being abused by their dad, even though they saw it didn't work out for their mum, they've tried, and they might have even had a child, and as they've got down the line, they've realised now this is not for them. They knew it wasn't for them then, they were just trying a thing. Because again, like I say, we all experiment. Even guys that literally know that they do not like fanny, they still experiment, even if it's to please their parents or to do the society thing to look And even those men might even go far to get married and literally have a whole life. They cannot help it. They have to go out there and get batty.
But I see that as a fetish because, like, it makes more sense, and I'm not agreeing with it, but for a woman to be heartbroken because women are feelings, yeah? Men have treated them so bad, let me go to women. That's more of a feeling thing to fill that void
really
internally.
is, it
But for
really
the
is.
man... You know what? In gay relationships, there's actually no real emotional love. It's all physical,
I know.
right? Because men, again, have such a sexual urge
know.
that they'll be willing to lay down and bend
And
down
you
for
know
another man,
what?
not because of love, to please his physical self.
you know
We're
what
looking
as
for
well?
love. You're looking for physicality.
And you know what
Who's
as well?
we? Don't dare try to put gay stuff on me, bro.
Do you know what it
I'm a
is as well?
heterosexual man, bro. I only like
What it
women.
is with
I don't know
gay
about
men as
anything
well,
else.
they get it together so quick. There's literally hardly any conversation.
But that's what I'm saying.
What?
They hardly talk. They hardly talk to each other.
Yeah, gay
Honestly.
men, they say that.
Yeah, you can get it on so quick. Like, literally, you have never known sexual activity to take place so quick. Hello, boom, bam, bam,
They
bam,
say
done.
the gay community is the most promiscuous community
It is
and the
disgusting. I know
least
it is for a
monogamous,
fact.
right? The
It
least
is.
monogamous.
It
So
is. I
gay
know
men,
that.
it's not about love, because men have this nature.
women
Stop
are
saying men have this nature because you're upsetting me. Stop saying
Men have this nature that they're willing to lay down with other men to please that physical nature. But a lesbian is doing it because she wants the emotional.
You know that's true because even in heterosexual situations, we know that is actually true.
Yeah, men will do it to women as well.
Because men do it all the time.
Yes.
Okay, so a man and man doing it, it's no beef, it's no drama, it's just the way it is. And then you'll get them bitching about each other with regard to that movement of, oh, well, I met him. And, well, honestly, I know too much stuff because I have a brother. I know stuff probably that I shouldn't know, like, and stuff. And also with the women as well, I have to tell you with the women, if you get, this is what I found with lesbian relationships. You'll get the womanly one that has got the child, and then you'll get the manly one.
The femme and the dominant one.
That's right, the butch one, yeah. And you see the butch one, she's more times so slack because she's basically being influenced by the male role.
But you know, I've always
of as many women as you can sleep with. You're boom. That's the boom thing to do.
But, you know, I think it's important that we really highlight these points, you know. A lot of men are delving into these sexual deviancies because their sexual urges have overcome them so much so that all logic has gone out the window, that they will lay down with man, lay down with this, lay down with that. Yeah? No, this is just, it's not that.
For the last 20 minutes, you've been talking so
for the last 2 years, you've been speaking about women, right?
Wait.
20 minutes, I'm highlighting facts here, to be honest with you.
Wait.
And
For the last 20 minutes, you've been speaking like a misandrist. And
Based on facts, so facts makes you a misandrist.
There's no facts to what you said.
I can provide the facts. You know I'm about to clip this and add the facts as it's on there.
I promise you do.
Obviously, they're going to be valid as well. And another thing as well, you guys, have you, even before they started teaching
This is about children. This is about children.
Exactly. So
talk about men, because you're a misandrist.
Before they started
You are a real
talking about-
misandrist.
I'm not a misandrist.
You are a
I think
misandrist.
men are great, and I
No,
think we need
you're
more good men.
No,
but
you're
all these
misandrist.
deviants who can't control themselves, definitely, you know, we have to sort that out.
Absolutely.
The same way that the modern women that you lot speak about need to be sorted out, a lot of these incels, creeps need to be sorted out as well.
Absolutely. So you
Have you ever
guys,
met a creep?
There's creeps everywhere.
It's so true. There's probably a
There's
few on the
creeps
train
everywhere.
today.
On the train, exactly. You get on the train, you always got that one creep that's looking
Oh,
at you.
yeah, there always is that. That's on it. Anyway, you guys, teenagers behaving fruity. Have you heard of that, boys? Teenage boys behaving fruity. Heterosexual
Fruity.
ones.
What do you mean fruity?
Literally, so it happens a lot, especially amongst guys that play football, especially if they go to academies and stuff. So obviously they go to these academies, there's all men there aren't any women, and they're supposed to be focused on their football. But obviously, like this lady says, men being men, they have no logic. You find that in changing rooms, they're slapping each other's bottoms.
But that's not, you know what? Let me.
No, but hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. Now, for me, that freaked me out because my son was in that because he played for an academy. He played for a couple of academies, and I've seen things that I wasn't comfortable with. But it's this one. It's this one. Oh, don't worry about it because it's just this or it's just that, and that's how things start. That's how things start, not necessarily from school directly. And what, because this thing that they're teaching in school is new. So this is what I want to know. Where's all that old behaviour come from? Where did all the gay people come from before? All the old gay people before, anybody that's over the age of 6 or 9 that has not been sexually educated at school, how did you learn to be gay? Tell us. I really want to know the answer to that. Because you're not talking about the children coming up. What about all those people that have gone that used to be children? Where the hell did they get their gayness from? It was not from drag queens reading story time. They wasn't doing it then.
No.
It was not from storybooks about men banging men. Where was it?
That came from what you lot was talking about when you lot was talking about men can't control themselves, so they do anything. I think that's where that might have come from. But what
So you agree with us?
No. I'm saying that's where that.
But men can't get to a point where they do that.
Stop. I'm saying that's where it could have came from.
Yeah, but what is the other answer then? What other answers do you have?
I don't. That's the only one.
Millions of gay people out there.
That's the only one I have. But my whole point is that men, humans in general experiment. So someone could
You're agreeing
experiment.
with me now. My point. I said that ages ago, way before storybooks and pictures of people would experiment. Children have been experimenting for decades and centuries and centuries and decades and centuries.
No, but what I'm trying to get to a point. So I'm saying to you, people could have experimented, and that's how it came to the conclusion that I like men or something.
That's how it's always going to be.
No, but what I'm trying to say to you now. I'm saying to you, I'm not saying there's a problem with that. And if people want to do what they want to do your thing, bro. It's cool. I don't mind.
In an uneducated way.
But my children don't need to be taught, how to do this, how to do that, because I feel like you're over-sexualizing someone who doesn't need to know sex at that age. Now, if they get to 13, 14 and they want to learn about sex and they're teaching them about sex.
They've got to request it. They've got to come and say, Dad, can you teach me about sex, please?
Yeah. I'll sit down with them myself and I'll go through it.
So then you're gonna have a child that's quite open to even come and approach you like that.
That's the whole point of being
okay. So therefore, there's no way a child like yours will be influenced at school by no matter what's been taught to them.
But everyone can get influenced. But I feel like you need to be pumping. Look, this is what I believe. Children can be indoctrinated. Anyone can indoctrinate their child, whether people agree with it or not doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Anyone can indoctrinate their child. Floyd Mayweather's father took him out of school and just made him do boxing. Yeah. So while your kids are at school doing a 9 to 3, he was in the gym doing a 9 to 3. Yeah. He became a champion at the age of 12 years old because his dad said, flip it, I'm indoctrinating my child. He's becoming a boxer.
Do you think
his whole life was born in the gym. Now he became a millionaire, he's a champion because his whole life, his dad.
Do you think that if he was born heterosexual and his dad told him be gay, and showed him all these things and drag queens,
yes, it would affect him.
He would have ended up gay?
I'm not saying it would have. I'm saying it would have affected him.
In what way?
Because remember, every child's different.
Yeah, I'm just asking you in what way.
Because every child's different. So you see the same way his father was influencing him to do with the boxing. Yeah. Imagine I was influencing him to be with gay.
Yeah.
You might grow up and say, yeah, I'm a fag. What? I like men.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'll tell you. I went to school and they said, who can swim? I put my hand up. I jumped in the pool. I nearly drowned. They said, who told you can swim? I said, my mum. That's bullshit, bruv. Yeah, but it didn't mean nothing.
No, but you see how you believed it though.
Yeah, exactly. So therefore, it doesn't mean anything. I still drown. So if I'm born heterosexual, you can tell me as much as you like. I'll be watching. Oh, right, okay. Cool, is that what gays do? Okay, that's what they do. Okay, that's what they do. I'm going out to live my heterosexual life.
But this is what I'm saying. Once you break the hymen inside of a man's anus, that's it. He's finished for life.
Yeah, but a man can break a woman's one.
And he's got her as well.
Man said he's done for life.
What does it mean? What does it mean? Does that make us man? Does that mean I can't go out and get a job?
Come on, when we look at masculinity...
Does that mean I can't go out and get a job?
No, but as a masculine man, for you to be bent over in such a degrading way as a man, this is like a satanic ritual.
Some of them like it.
That goes back to the fetish. That goes back to the sexual urges where there's no logic.
They like it. That's what they want to do. I don't understand.
Because their desires have taken control over them.
When you're 9 and when you're 6, you need to know there are people out there that do this. There are people... This exists.
No, but do you believe me? In general, your child will see that. So
when
they'll see it, bro.
When? Not your yard.
No, but I'm saying,
or yours.
No, but I'm saying. In general, if you're walking down the road and your child sees a man, your daughter sees a man.
You're not allowed to see that. You don't see people bending down having sex on the street.
No. I'm saying.
I mean, the first time I saw 2 men kiss one time, and I don't mean to say it disrespectfully, but I felt to be sick. I had this very dark feeling in my chest, like like an innocent. You know when kids are innocent.
Was it on the telly?
No, in real life, I saw these 2 men kissing in front of me, and I was so young. And because of the innocence and the purity, I felt to vomit.
Well, that's good, no? Yeah. That's how you'd want your child to feel.
Absolutely.
So then you feel like that. Do you think, as a child, with all these lessons and your natural state, do you think that these lessons that they're teaching at school could influence you both? Both at school. Do you think as a child, you're 6, you're 9, you go to school, you're in year 2, you're in year 6, you're in year 4.
Because the culture has changed.
I'm asking you.
Yes, it can. Because I tell you, in the 60s in Britain, or the 40s, 40, let's go 40s. Yeah. Traditional Christian country. When they teach this stuff, they'll teach it from a biblical point of view. They'll teach it as a sin. Yeah. This day and age, they will teach it as a trendy thing. So the way that the kids are going to reciprocate this information is in a different mindset in accordance to society, which is more accepting.
Do you really think that somebody... Listen, you see smoking. Let's just take something as simple as smoking. Do you know that there are some people that just don't smoke?
But I know a lot of girls that were influenced to smoke at the age of 12 in my school.
I'm telling you, what about the other ones that didn't? What about that lot?
But there's always that risk of those people, though.
Well, this is my point. So no matter what you do, the only way you can get away from it is to give your child an injection and make it never wake up. Never go to school, never see anything, never watch any telly, don't give it a phone, don't ever.
I agree teaching, but there's a limit and there's a way. That's my main point.
Right, okay, and my main point is I don't see where the limit stops or starts because of the society we live in. You've got all kinds of weird stuff going on.
I already gave you 2 examples. Adults taking off their clothes naked in front of children.
Okay, so again, with that, I would compare that to live art. I just would.
But to me, that's paedophilia, because if you came into your house, like I said it before, if you came into your house and you said, I'm doing live art, your daughter's drawing me, you would draw something.
The thing about me at home is, I'll be honest, people, when I do walk around in my natural state, my children just go mad. They like, put some, I'm not even, I come out of the bathroom and I don't do up my top button and my trousers are down a little bit, you can see a bit of my builder's bum, they're going mad. So I don't see how things have got this far. And also a lot of things that I saw a lot of things. I've done an episode and I saw a lot of things. There's a lot of things on the internet and the parents are all there.
All right, let me give an example,
the parents
yeah?
are all there. So what are we making up noise about?
All right, I work in a hospital, yeah? So I'm around naked bodies, yeah? I've seen it all, right? Now, for me personally, don't do nothing to me, yeah? If I see a naked woman or I have to help an elderly man, it's bodies.
What you do.
No, nothing for me, yeah? But going back to the men, there's been situations where men have been around these naked bodies and they've not been able to control their urges to the point where they've assaulted these women. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
To the point where in my special place where I work, men are not allowed to deal with women. Full stop.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
Because of that natural...
Because of that urge that they cannot control.
See?
So, you know, the thing is, for me, the natural body don't do nothing for me because
it is exactly
that.
that.
I think where I got my education from, I think definitely becoming a mum at 18 is what opened my eyes a little bit more. Like,
absolutely. Going
through that physical process of this is how the body works, yeah?
This is what these breasts are for.
When I started breastfeeding as well, at the beginning I was shy, I was embarrassed. I don't wanna,
Yeah.
But then I realised...
That's my baby's food.
Right.
How dare
but I'm coming from it from a natural way of life.
And which is always the way.
Not from a paedophilic, weird, fetish way.
So then why are you now looking at it from a paedophilic fetish way when it comes to a naked body?
Because of the people that are promoting it, the ones that are attached to it. I don't think they have the sincere intentions.
Don't trust them.
I don't trust them, no.
Fair enough. Well, now...
That's the point.
Okay, now that I can see as an angle to actually complain. Because the people that are providing this education, what's their experience?
What's your agenda?
What's your agenda?
What's your credentials? Yes.
Now
don't know you.
Now you're asking sensible questions. So let me put it to you this way: would you be happy if it was your Arab uncle going into school that you do know? That he's not a paedophile.
So this is what I wanted to ask Red Talks earlier, this question, yeah, because I think you know about the madrasa way of educating, yeah? You know how the madrasa deals with the students, right? There's like a hikmah and there's a way. So a madrasa is the equivalent of an Islamic school, right?
Yes.
So we have these conversations in a very sophisticated way. Because you see the way that Islam talks, yeah? Let's say like we're trying to represent Islam. Islam deals with wisdom and it deals with... Its speech is in accordance to its audience.
Right.
Yeah. The
perfect.
speech is in accordance to its audience.
Yes.
Yeah. So when it comes to the children and these things,
it speaks in a childish way.
In accordance to his understanding, but also like the way that we learn as women, you cover yourselves.
Yes.
This is like an integral thing from when we're young.
Yes.
You do not show yourself in front of no man.
Yes.
You do not allow a man to touch you. This is only until marriage.
Yes.
So it goes back to when I was saying about the school the way that we're taught about sex, we're not taught it as it's a physical action, it's a sacred thing. So that's how I learned about sex.
Right.
This is a sacred thing that I only have with my husband.
Yes.
But when it comes to the intricacies and the details, I'll be honest with you, that's something that I didn't really have too much. Yeah, I didn't get too much education on that until maybe I went into school. Friends who were at 16 lost their virginity and stuff like that.
Who taught you that? Did you learn that did you learn that at Muslim school?
No, it's English school. But my school is different to what's going on now.
But my whole point is, even on that point, I've even got like some strong views on that parents should be, a man should be educating his son, not just about the physical aspect of it, but the love aspect of it.
100%.
And how to navigate through it.
Yeah, because men don't know how to love.
But we're not taught.
Yeah, because they're too busy watching
Exactly,
porn.
that's the point.
I'm saying that you can't get mad at me for not loving you. I don't know what love
Who the hell
is.
teaches anybody to love?
No.
This is
Men
what your
should
parents should be doing. Because
Yes.
hang on a minute. This is what happens when you grow up at home. Well, you're supposed to happen at home. Mum and dad, You learn love from your mum and dad. You see your mum and dad cuddle. You see your dad treat your mum nicely. You see your mum respect your dad. That's where you learn love.
No, but my whole thing is...
Nobody teaches you love.
No problem, but I'm saying you come from a single parent household. What happens then?
Yeah, so then you have some aunts, you have some uncles.
No, what about this? What about this? You come from a household...
You watch the telly.
No, but I'm even going to give you a different one. So you come from a household where both of your parents are together, but they're not affectionate. Because,
you watch the telly.
In the older generation, affection is not how we
Agreed.
see
I
it.
absolutely agree, but I watched the telly. I learned, do you know where I learned love? Dallas, Dynasty.
Lord have mercy.
I did.
If I leave my child in front of that screen from Power Rangers, I'm done.
I learned because them times there, there's still the law. There is no age to leave your child at home. But Caribbean parents, they just done what they done. They brought you up to sit down and shut up. You stayed where they told you to stay until they came home.
It's mad.
Yeah, well, that's what happened.
That's crazy.
So basically...
I remember 5 years old. My mum said never open the door for
there
anyone.
you go. And I used to watch the telly and I learned love from the telly.
But that wasn't love.
Of course it bloody was.
No, we did as girls. I learned a lot of love from the telly.
I learned love from the telly.
See, so that's
from the romantic films and all that.
I
Yeah,
loved it. That's where I learned it from.
So this is where the problem lies. This is actually where the problem lies.
Shut
up. This is actually where
He's trying to flip it back on us.
Straight away.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Let me say something. Let me say this to both of you. Like, love is never taught through a screen. It's actually taught through people's actions. But the only way you can see
actions that we're watching on the screen.
No, because that's not real love.
Obviously, it's not real love because
real
love
is not even what they make. The fairy tale ending does never exist, and that's the reason
and
why.
That's the harsh reality.
That's the realness why women can't stay in committed relationships anymore, because they're selling this dream of
I'm waiting
the happy.
for mine still.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Women are getting sold this dream of a happy ending. There's no such thing as a happy ending. The truth is,
that's not nice.
have you ever wondered, in a movie? Yeah, I don't know about you lot, but I've always used to say, all right, so now they're married and they've gone into the sunset. What happens now?
Next? Yeah,
because
but then you get part two.
No, there's another part two.
No, there is. There's loads of part twos of films.
There's not.
Okay, have you seen Are We There Yet?
But that's not a romantic film, though.
It bloody is.
Are We There? It's Ice Cube.
Yeah, Ice Cube.
Them kids were terrorizing.
Yeah, but
they were terrorizing. Where's the love?
Where's the romantic side? Wasn't he trying to get with the mum? Didn't you watch number two? Don't try with me, Brethren, because I'm a film buff and I will give you a story.
What I'm trying to say...
No, because you haven't let me finish, because that's not fair what you said. What you said is not true.
It is true.
No, what you said was, this is what the gentleman said. He said, do you ever see
Red
what happened
Talks.
after the... Red Talk. What happens after the sunset? Yes, in part two you do. There's often a sequel to a film.
No, not really, because 9 out of 10 times the going off into the sunset means the end. Now, in a child's mind, the end means it's finished, finito. That's what the end means. And we know of the end because we play a lot of computer games and we get to the end stage of the game and we think that, yes, it's done, it's completed. People think that marriage starts, life starts when you get married. It doesn't. It starts when the shit is going wrong. That's when your marriage. Show us the honeymoon
stage.
That's when your marriage is started. That's when your relationship starts. It starts when shit is going wrong. Forget that wedding and all that. That don't mean shit. That don't mean nothing. What does that mean? It just means that we just showed the whole world. But the real test of
when the kids come and everything
is when I stop. I fall. I don't find you attractive anymore. See, and you don't find me attractive.
The problem that I've got, I was brought up in a very old household with parents similar probably to your age and your age, but I was the grandchild. So what I saw was, I didn't see arguing. My grandparents were far too diplomatic to argue in front of me.
See?
My grandparents were far too diplomatic to get caught having sex or anything stupid like that. Those things were out of the question. This is what I saw. I saw practicality. I saw my granddad going to work. I saw my gran having a little part-time job. Yeah, I saw the house was always had food in it. The light was always on.
But did they show you love?
Hold on. This is what love is. This is what I'm going to try to explain to you. This is what I know as love. I saw a meal provided every day.
Do you know what? I'm going to agree with you and say that's true love.
Thank you.
But what I'm saying,
it's teamwork. I saw teamwork with my grandparents.
But Marsh, what I'm saying is nowadays love is perpetuated as holidays, money, cars, designer.
That's materialism.
This is where we're going wrong. You see.
But both of you two said something that was very dangerous. You said, I learned love off the TV.
Yeah, hold up.
Exactly.
Hold up. the TV now is the social media. So if you think your child is gonna learn love, they're gonna learn how to be toxic and how to give man bun and not care about life.
You can say that, but Winter, who watches a lot of films, she goes to the toilet with the remote. That's how serious she is about the telly. Yeah, she has already told me she's not going to America. She wanted to go to America when she was younger. I was thinking, yes, one more child, one down. But she's not going now because she's realised from watching the telly, America's a really bad place.
It really is.
Right. So but that's shown me that the telly still has that same influence that it used to have on me. And it's showing her what not to do. It's showing her what she likes. It's showing her what she doesn't like. And I tell you about something about her. She is a girl that is into love already. She's 14. She's never even had a boyfriend. She hasn't lost her virginity. But she already understands that a man should treat her like a princess.
But
because she's watched it on the telly.
We got 2 minutes left.
Okay, let me just say something. The love that women are looking for that we see on TV, I'm just speaking from my perspective, is the romantic, the affection side. You know, because women are naturally physically emotional beings. So women, I believe, are better lovers because love is an emotion. So men, when they love physically. One second, let me finish. Men love physically. Women love emotionally.
Absolutely.
And really, if you want to get to someone's heart, you get to their heart emotionally. Yeah. So women, we love the romantic, the passion, the affectionate side, which men lack.
The fact that you want to be with me, just the fact that you want to be
exactly
with me.
Like the men, they're very hard to communicate. A lot of relationships break down where the woman tries to chat to her husband, he's all frustrated, oh, you're boring me, but then when he wants to lay down, that's when she's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? That's when he wants to give her attention.
You're my best friend.
Exactly, but when she just wants to talk to you, she wants to spend time with you, you ignore her. But when it comes to give me what I want physically, we're supposed to give.
Do you know that a man doesn't even have to know if a woman's on her period unless he wants to have sex? He might not even know for the whole week, bruv.
That's what I'm saying. It's all physical.
I'm done with both. Done. Anyway, people, if you like this episode, like, comment, and subscribe. You already know it's Rare Talk.
It's
Bye.
brilliant.
Bow.